his own lair.
It's Squidward. He wants to complain to you.
Next up is a season 2 banger and somewhat of a spooky episode. I'm talking about Shanghaied. Now, I love this episode, but of course, it has some mistakes. Roll the footage.
Nice. Oh, what is this? Some kind of magic act?
Man, I don't know about you guys, but keep me away from the Fly of Despair. That looks just wacky and yeah. Anyways though, as most of you guys know, Squidward has 6 legs, okay? Well, actually he has 4 legs and 2 arms. But at one point while Squidward is falling through that evil Fly of Despair, 2 of his 4 legs are missing, which is 100% a mistake. And it's a bad one, but that ain't it for this classic episode. Here's the next mistake. Keep those eyes peeled.
Now think, SpongeBob. We're about to get eaten. What can you wish for to make it so we don't get eaten?
So what's really cool about Shanghaied is it has multiple endings because when the episode premiered, viewers could vote on which ending they wanted to see. I don't know if this actually worked when it was on TV, but there's 3 endings. There's a SpongeBob ending, a Patrick ending, and a Squidward ending. Now, in the SpongeBob ending, during this shot when Squidward is pointing, his arm disappears for a few frames. I don't know, man. Squidward, I think you need your arms. Those are kind of important. Guys, imagine just your arm disappearing. I know it's a cartoon, but what a mistake! And that's still not it. Here's the 3rd mistake in this episode. Damn, 3 mistakes in one episode? What?
He can find. Captain, there's a guy we can scare.
Now this one is more funny because it is a cartoon and this mistake isn't that much of a mistake, I guess. It's just more funny. But when SpongeBob first finds someone to scare, we can hear the sound of rushed feet pantering. So like the sound of feet running across a hallway or the ground, right? We can hear it just before the Flying Dutchman comes into the shot. However, if you really think about it, this wouldn't be possible because look at the Flying Dutchman. He doesn't have feet. He just has a tail because he's a ghost. So when we heard this sound effect right here, I'll play the clip.
He can find. Captain, there's a guy we can scare.
It couldn't have been from the Flying Dutchman because dude don't got feet, he's a ghost. But hey, like I said, this one's just more funny. Let's head over to another episode with some more serious mistakes. Stay tuned.
Fetch! Huh? New boomerang pet ball. Really works.
Man, there's nothing like season 2 of SpongeBob. It really takes me back to my younger years, especially the episode Gary Takes a Bath, an episode all about Gary, well, as you can imagine, refusing to take a bath. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this quick mistake that happens in the episode. Roll the footage.
Treasure map revealing the location of buried pirate treasure in this very house. Come on, boy, let's go get that treasure.
Now you need to be a true SpongeBob fan to really catch this one or even understand it. So take a look at these random shots of SpongeBob's living room and take a look at the wallpaper. It's like this blue design with like bamboo sticks in it. And it's always looked like this ever since season 1. Here's even footage from season 1 of his bedroom. Well, in Gary Takes a Bath, we get this scene where SpongeBob is in the kitchen holding up his treasure map, okay? And as we can see, the background is incorrect. We can see the wallpaper of his living room, right? But as I already said, SpongeBob is in the kitchen. It should actually look like this. Here's some shots of SpongeBob's kitchen where the wallpaper is not blue. We know this for sure because the door in the kitchen is in the right place. This means for sure that it's not a shot of the living room, so the wallpaper should not be blue. This was like a weird mistake. I don't know how it happened. It's kind of funny, but let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
They've shrunk! I'm gonna need to get new pants.
You will not believe the mistakes in this episode, and they all have to do with SpongeBob's eyes. Not just SpongeBob, even Mr. Krabs is really funny. The episode is to SquarePants or not to SquarePants. Here's the first mistake.
Now to finish the day's chores.
Did ya catch it? Like I said, it has to do with SpongeBob's eyes. As when SpongeBob walks away from the dryer, his eyes are yellow for a frame. It's just as he's going off screen and it's bad. Like, look at that. Both of his eyes are fully yellow when they're supposed to be white. And like I said, that's not it for mistakes with eyes. Here's another mistake.
Do these pants look square to you? They're round.
So?
I can't be SpongeBob SquarePants with round.
Did you catch that one? Because it's way more obvious, as when SpongeBob is talking to Mr. Krabs and says they're round, his eyes turn green for a split second. That looks gross. SpongeBob, that does not look healthy, dude. Like, yellow is one thing, but green, lime green like that, I'm concerned for our favorite little sponge. Who knows? Maybe he has the suds again. And that's still not it, guys. Here's one more mistake that has to do with eyes.
What you doing? Get to work! I'm used to Squidward sleeping on the job, but I expect more from you, Mr. SquarePants.
Man, what is going on with the eyes in this episode? The animators must be playing a joke on us. When Mr. Krabs says, I'm used to Squidward sleeping on the job, but I expect more from you, Mr. SquarePants. Look between his eyes. It should be the background of his office, like we should even be able to see yellow because of the yellow flag behind him, but there's white spacing in between both of his eyes. Like, this was just a really weird animation mistake. Like, I don't even know how this happened, but hey, it's a mistake and you guys can see it right here. But let's keep it moving and head over to another episode, guys. The mistakes are endless today.
Where's your ball?
I don't know. Gotta be around here somewhere.
There it is.
Uh-oh.
Play it where it lies.
Okay, this next mistake happens really fast in the episode A Friendly Game, so let's just get right into it. Here's the mistake, and guys, for this one, you really need to pay attention. Like I said, this one's complicated, so hopefully you guys got it, but if not, don't worry, Cartoon Corey's got ya. So, when SpongeBob and Patrick hit their balls into Squidward's house, we can see that they break this window right here. You can see they break this window inside Squidward's house. However, when SpongeBob over here walks around blindfolded and begins destroying Squidward's stuff, he breaks the exact same window that we literally seen him break earlier on, even though this window should already be broken. I mean, guys, I know it's a cartoon, there's cartoon logic, but this was just some bad continuity here. It's like he broke it, and then they forgot that he broke it, and he breaks the exact same window again. Like, what? How did this happen? But whatever, let's keep it moving to one more episode, guys. Let's do it. Next up is the other patty. This episode is all about another establishment making burgers that are popular. So believe it or not, Mr. Krabs and Plankton team up. Take a look at this.
Okay, fine. We'll work together.
Yeah, I don't see that working out.
Not to worry, gentlemen. I have a plan.
Dude, it is so weird seeing Plankton and Mr. Krabs, these arch enemies. These dudes have hated each other ever since season 1. Teaming up together. It's interesting. This is actually a pretty good episode, but this episode has mistakes, of course. Here's the first one.
Krabby Patty?
Another restaurant. Looks like Krabs has some real competition, huh? Interesting.
This one's pretty straightforward, but it's still pretty bad at the same time. But when Plankton says interesting, his mouth duplicates. It's easier if we zoom in really close to Plankton here. As you can see, there is 2 of his mouth, which I don't think that's very healthy, Plankton. You should go check that out, man. But there's more. Here's the next mistake in this episode.
The Krabby Patty?
Oh, a Flabby Patty.
I started the Krabby Patty restaurant just to get you 2 rascals to team up.
So this one is a good old-fashioned plot hole, something that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So as you've seen at the end, SpongeBob is revealed to be the cook at the Flabby Patty Shack, alright? The place that has been causing Plankton and Mr. Krabs all of this stress. But here's the issue. There are plenty of moments where SpongeBob isn't in the Flabby Patty Shack, but the shack is already open and there are fish literally eating patties. I think we even see a fish get a patty at one point. So if SpongeBob was the one making the patties there, how did these fish right here get their patties when SpongeBob wasn't in the kitchen? It's a bit of a weird plot hole. I don't know what they were thinking. But guess what, guys? I lied. There's one more episode we're going to be covering today. Let's head over to that episode. Last but not least is an episode all about SpongeBob not being able to sleep, and this drives our favorite sponge crazy. Insomnia is awful, guys. Take a look at these clips. Poor SpongeBob, but you know who I really feel bad for, guys? The animators and writers on this episode, because they about to get roasted. Here, take a look at the first mistake.
You think mustard grows from seeds? Oh, at this rate, I'll be broken 411 years!
Really?
It's funny because Mr. Krabs here is all about money, 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 but he cannot count for the life of him because as you've seen, at one point Mr. Krabs calculates and comes up with the number 411. But the issue is he's adding numbers that made a much higher number. The real answer is 511, not 411. So Mr. Krabs, dude, you need to work on your counting, buddy. Like, you're all about money and all about this grind, but you can't even count, boy. But hey, he's not the only one. The animators also can't animate very well in this episode because there's also a mistake. I'm kidding, guys, just saying the animation's amazing in this episode, but there is an animation mistake. Roll the footage.
What's this? Another vision?
This one Let's head back over to the classic and best era of SpongeBob, that being season 1 with the episode SB129. I personally love this episode. It is so nostalgic to me and there's so many cool scenes in it. Just here's some of the amazing scenes in this episode. And if you haven't watched it, go watch this episode after you're done watching this video. Anyways, here are those clips.
Future!
And spot it right now.
Hello?
So here's the thing, as you guys just seen, the Krusty Krab is closed in this episode, right? It's closed. I guess it's a Saturday or a Sunday, but then why were the doors unlocked? Like, how did Squidward get inside? We didn't see him use a key or anything. It's like the place was just unlocked. So, Mr. Krabs, dude, you need to lock up the Krusty Krab before that place gets robbed. Let's move over to mistake number 2. Okay, so this freezer, as you can see at first, the freezer has a doorknob. Most doors usually have doorknobs. They're pretty, they're kind of necessary for opening a door. But when Squidward closes the freezer door, where did it go? The doorknob just disappears, dude. It was there at first, now it's just gone, which is very funny to me. Next up is a somewhat underrated episode of SpongeBob, that being New Digs. This episode is all about SpongeBob oversleeping and going into work late. And I mean, you guys know SpongeBob. This dude is obsessed with the Krusty Krab. I don't even think Mr. Krabs pays him, but he still goes into work. But yeah, he goes into work late, so he decides to move into the Krusty Krab. That way he's never late again. I don't know about y'all, but I would never do anything like that. But here's some clips from the episode. It's really funny. Yeah, this episode is hilarious. Like, this dude moves his entire apartment into the kitchen. He brings Gary, his couch, his TV. SpongeBob, you need to chill. Work is not that serious. But what is serious is mistakes in animation, and this episode has 2. Here's the first one. Keep those eyes peeled.
Come on, man, my change!
Oh, here you go.
Yeah, well, thank you. A real.
So this first mistake isn't that big of a deal, I guess, but this character right here is Incidental 107, and at one point in the episode, he asks for his change. Now, at first, as you can see, his food and tray are right beside him, like he has his food and tray, but in the next shot, they just disappear. They're like gone. I doubt that dude ate his food that fast, and if he did, I'm kind of impressed. But what isn't so impressive is mistake number 2. Let's move over to that one. Here's some clips.
Thanks, SpongeBob. If I can reach, I'd do it myself.
Now this one is actually pretty bad in my opinion, but when Patrick walks out of the kitchen and says, "Thanks, SpongeBob," his eyebrows are actually missing for an entire frame. I don't know, guys. People don't just lose their eyebrows. This was most likely a mistake by the animators. Let's move over to episode number 2, which has tons of mistakes. Next up is Doing Time, a classic. This episode's from season 3, and as you guys know, Mrs. Puff has been dealing with SpongeBob's BS for a very long time, and he just cannot drive. Mrs. Puff has tried everything, and in this episode, she snaps. She decides that it would be much better to go to jail than have to sit around and deal with SpongeBob. Pretty good episode. Here's some clips.
No more road rage, no more SpongeBob, no more insurance payments, no more SpongeBob, no more SpongeBob, no more SpongeBob, no more SpongeBob!
Personally, I wouldn't choose jail over dealing with a stupid sponge, but hey, Mrs. Puff, you do you. Let's get into these mistakes, guys. This episode has 2. Here's the first one.
Hey, seniors, let's open these windows so the world can see your nice white clothes.
So this character right here is Incidental 6, alright? It's a background character who has appeared in many different SpongeBob episodes before. Now, normally Incidental 6 has a male voice. Here's some clips of him talking with a male voice.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm ready to order.
What do you have?
For some reason in Doing Time, they just switched it up. It isn't that big of a deal since it's just one episode, but yeah, throughout this whole episode, he has a female voice. Very interesting mistake on their end, but let's keep the video moving, guys. Season 5's Krabs a la mode is another interesting episode. It's not my favorite, but it's not the worst, but I do like Plankton's scheme in this episode. Instead of explaining it, I'll let these clips show you what he does. It's very interesting.
That's right. Run, Krabs, for I have found your Achilles heel. I'll freeze you out of business, and I'll do it with your precious thermostat.
Plankton quite literally turned the Krusty Krab into a winter wonderland. At one point, people are literally ice skating around the Krusty Krab, which looks kind of fun, but I don't think that's the place to be doing that. This episode, as I said though, has some mistakes. Here's the first one.
Turn the heat up.
The temperature stays at 62 degrees.
So as you guys seen, a big plot point in this episode is Plankton changing the thermostat of the Krusty Krab. That's how it gets all icy in there. But as you've seen in the clips, he changes the temperature of the thermostat again, but how would he have done this? Because the thermostat freezes, so I don't think it'd be working very well. So yeah, another mistake here, and here's mistake number 2. So speaking of frozen objects, as you guys can see, there is one shot where the cash register is frozen, but then throughout the rest of the episode and every other scene, the cash register is no longer frozen. So a bit of a continuity error. I'll admit, the mistakes in this episode are not so bad, but just wait, things are about to get wild. Next up is As Seen on TV. Now, this episode is about the Krusty Krab's first ever commercial, and SpongeBob over here thinks he's famous because he gets like a 2-second cameo in the commercial that airs on TV. It's really funny. SpongeBob gets a massive ego in the episode. It's hilarious. Here are some clips.
And who am I making this bad boy out to?
To my tail fin. I'll get it myself.
F-I-N. There we are, darling.
I gotta say, it's really weird seeing SpongeBob act like this. He's normally such a wholesome character, and he doesn't really care about attention that much. But in this episode, he thinks he's the star of the show. It's really funny the way he interacts with other characters. But what isn't so funny are the mistakes in this episode, and there's three mistakes in one episode. Here's the first one.
Squidward, this crowd is insatiable.
Then why don't you get back in the kitchen and grab some patties and give them what they came here for?
This first one is pretty bad, but I gotta say, you need the eyes of a hawk to be able to actually catch it. So at one point, SpongeBob lifts up his shirt collar, but if you look at the back, right by his fingers, it's like the smallest spot. I'm gonna zoom in on it so you guys can see. They didn't draw the back of his collar. Right there by his fingers, we should be able to see the back of his shirt, but I guess they just forgot to draw it. And now that I've shown you, you know it looks kind of weird. Not as weird as mistake number 2 though. This one's really bad.
We want patties! Well, the most I can juggle is 3, but the show must go on. Whoa!
Okay, so look during this scene. When the crowd says, "We want patties," Incidental 46's waist is purple. Throughout the episode, it looks like this, right? This is how it's supposed to look, but in this one shot, for some reason, it's purple. I don't know what's going on, but hey, we still got one more mistake in this episode. Here's mistake number 3.
A second Krusty Krab?
Mr. Krabs, everyone needs an understudy. This is just great. Now we've got no crew to make the commercial.
So early on in the episode, as you guys can see, there is a second Krusty Krab. But here's the problem. It's actually only shown when Mr. Krabs mentions it. In any other shot where you would be able to see it, it's just not there. Like in some of these shots, it should be right there. Here's a shot of it being there.
A second Krusty Krab?
Nerdmobile. It comes with pocket protectors, corrective lens windshield, and seat wedgies.
This next mistake is an interesting one and can be found in the episode Drive Happy. Roll the footage.
I want to be inside.
Like inside? All right, Coop, come on in.
Did you catch the mistake? Well, whoever wrote this episode, or I guess animated it, needs to go back and educate themselves on the world of SpongeBob, most notably Conch Street. As in this shot, as you can see right here, SpongeBob's iconic pineapple home has a garage in the back of it, alright? You know, a garage where you'd park a car. But here's the issue. At one point in Drive Happy, SpongeBob saws a hole at the front of his house so that Coop, his car, can enter and seek shelter. This was completely unnecessary, SpongeBob, because you know, you have a garage. So like, why would you do that? Well, it's not SpongeBob's fault, it's the animator's fault. They forgot about this garage, as you can see in this shot, and then made SpongeBob do this in this episode. What a weird mistake. This one's so weird that I just want to move on from it to our next episode. Let's keep it going.
Don't feed the clowns!
This next mistake happens very fast. It can be found in the episode Don't Feed the Clowns, so I'm just gonna get right into it. Keep those eyes peeled! So during these business building scenes, we see the character R.A. Pennypincher a bunch of times. He's just there within the business building. But during this one scene, the animators must have been feeling lazy or something. I don't know what was going on, as Pennypincher is replaced with another incidental 41 in this one shot. It's kind of weird. I know this might not seem like that big of a mistake, but it is a mistake, so it's very strange. Let's keep it moving though and head over to another episode. This one, guys, be prepared. It's gonna be a wild mistake. Next up is the episode Food PBFFT Truck, a really good episode from season 13. This is one of my favorites. Here are some hilarious clips from the episode.
Why were you waving at us?
I wasn't waving at you. I was drying out my armpits.
Okay, it's time for the mistakes. It's mistake time. It's what you guys clicked on this video for.
Restaurant is packed to the gills with customers.
During this one scene, take a look at this character, Incidental 45. Well, during this one shot, the animators messed up and drew Incidental 45 2 times. They duplicated him. He's right here at the dining table with Incidental 42, but then there's another one waiting in order to get money to Squidward. Now look, incidental duplications did happen a lot in earlier seasons of the show, like season 1, 2, or 3. It makes sense, but in modern SpongeBob, this never happens and is totally a mistake. And guys, there's more. There's one more mistake I want to show you guys today. Keep those eyes peeled.
Where is everybody?
So as you just saw, when SpongeBob and Squidward are driving around in Rock Bottom, which is so cool by the way, seeing Rock Bottom again, I love this place. But yeah, they're driving around and they pass this question mark store once, right? But the animators must have forgot about this and reused the background or something, as they end up passing the store twice, which wouldn't have been possible. They passed it once. So yeah, another mistake.
Perfect storm.
Well, just leave my present over on the present table. I'm so excited, I've been waiting for a whole year.
Next up is another episode from season 6, that being Overbooked. This episode is all about SpongeBob being, well, overbooked. The dude just doesn't have time for anything. It seems though that the animators also didn't have time, as they overlooked a couple of mistakes in this episode that I'm about to expose. Roll the footage.
Happy birthday! No!
You finally made it!
Alright, so when Patrick's rock first opens in this scene, take a look at his party hat, okay? It's red. You can see it right here. Remember, it's red. However, in the next scene, this randomly changes. Like, coloring mistakes like this are hilarious when it just randomly changes. As it was red, but his party hat now changes to purple. Like, what? What's going on here? Like, how does it just change colors randomly? That looks like lazy animation to me, and that's not it for this episode. Here's another mistake.
Further delay, I shall initiate proto sequence.
Sandy, I hate to delay the proceedings, but I forgot to mail in this mail.
Take a look at these shots of Sandy cheeks. Our girl Sandy has a big furry tail. It's a big part of her character because she's a squirrel and squirrels have tails, right? Well, in Overbooked, the animators forgot about this, as when Sandy says, without further delay, I shall initiate the proto sequence, her tail is missing. And it's not because of the angle, they just were too lazy to draw Sandy Cheeks' tail. Give my girl her tail back, she needs it. And guys, there's another mistake in this episode. Roll the footage.
Have I?
Hello? My birthday cake!
Oh yeah, that! I'm just getting to that. That's why I was here in town.
It's really easy to miss, like very easy to miss. But before SpongeBob walks away to get a cake, man, now I want cake, guys. I'm hungry. Cake is so good. But as he walks away to get a cake, take a look at his left leg, as it's entirely white for a split second. I mean, don't get me wrong, SpongeBob's socks are supposed to be white, but his leg is supposed to be yellow. So this was another just really bad mistake. This episode's pretty rough in terms of mistakes, guys, but let's keep it moving and head over to another episode with even more spicy mistakes. You don't want to miss them.
The one that's obviously not a robot! Okay. Ow! Why'd you do that? You told me to. I told you to hit the robot!
Here's another quick mistake from another cartoon we haven't really covered before, that being The Amazing World of Gumball. We're always talking about Nickelodeon on this channel. It's about time we talk about Cartoon Network a little bit. Anyways, the episode can be found in the episode The Robot, and for context, it has to do with this lovely character right here, Gumball, okay? So pay attention to him. Roll that footage.
What?
Cupcake! Cupcake! What do you think you're doing? When I said you could copy me, I didn't mean steal my life!
So during this cafeteria scene where Gumball, the character we just mentioned, yells at Bobert, what a weird name, for about a brief moment, if you watch closely, this dude's entire mouth becomes the same color as his head. It's not supposed to look like that. I don't know how this happened. What a weird mistake, but okay, back to SpongeBob. But remember guys, leave a comment, let me know other cartoon mistakes you want me to cover. Any other cartoon on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, who knows? I'll even do The Simpsons if you guys want it, but yeah, let's head over to SpongeBob. This next section is all about OG SpongeBob, the classics. I'm talking about the very first Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode. Damn, this episode makes me feel old because it came out so long ago. Here are some funny and hilarious clips from this episode because it's a really good one. Then we'll get into the mistakes. Roll the footage.
Here comes the TV repairman.
What do you want from us?
Hold on, just let me look at you. This'll cheer you up. We're almost done painting your invisible boatmobile.
Now, one thing I missed though back when I was a kid watching this episode was the mistakes. Here's the first one.
I'll be taking that.
Ah! Help! Help! Help!
It's working.
This first one is weird, and it kind of took me a couple of seconds to realize that it was a mistake. So, at one point, SpongeBob hands Patrick his purse and peers out from behind the building. But when this happens, if you look, The purse can be seen floating beside him. He isn't actually holding it. The purse is just literally floating there. Like I said, it's a weird mistake. You guys might not be catching it. I'm gonna zoom in, but that purse is just floating there. And yeah, talk about a weird mistake. And there's more. Here's another mistake from this episode.
Excuse me, Mermaid Man.
What do you want?
Oh, this better be good.
This'll cheer you up. We're almost done painting your invisible boatmobile.
This is another one that's easy to miss, but once you see it, you'll see it every time you re-watch the episode. As it seems that SpongeBob's pores are reversed when he says, "Excuse me, Mermaid Man." Normally, SpongeBob looks like this, and I want you to pay attention to the holes all over SpongeBob. Those are his pores. A lot of you know this, but to the younger viewers, pay attention to the holes. As you can see in this shot, they look like this. This is how they're supposed to look. But during this one scene in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 1, his pores are just reversed. Here's a side-by-side where you can see him normally, and then with the pores reversed, you can see it now. It looks pretty bad. Next up, let's head back to where it all began, SpongeBob Season 1 with the episode Jellyfishing, an iconic episode. This episode's so much fun. It really brings me back to my younger years, but what I missed as a kid were the mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one.
That ought to do it.
Okay, so for this one to really make sense, I need to remind you guys of a big part of this episode. So as you can see, Squidward's in this giant cast. And in order for him to hold his jellyfishing net, SpongeBob and Patrick do this. Take a look at this clip real quick.
Firmly grasp it!
Ouch! But as you can see, it's like stuffed into Squidward's hand. He isn't actually holding it. It was like stabbed into this dude's hand, so he wouldn't be able to change which hand he's holding it in. Well, that's exactly the mistake, as if you watch throughout the episode, the jellyfishing net changes hands multiple times despite this not really being possible. Again, it was like stabbed into this dude's hand, which ouch, that would really hurt. But more importantly, dude wouldn't be able to change the hand that's holding the jellyfishing net, so a mistake here. Next up is a quick one from the Patrick Star Show episode, Klopnodian Heritage Festival. Roll the footage and pay attention to Cecil over here, as the mistake has to do with him, more specifically his face.
It seems the boy is sweat shy. Would you mind turning away?
It only happens for one frame, so it's very easy to miss, but when Cecil over here talks to these older men in the Flop Sweat Lodge, dude's entire mustache turns blue for a whole frame. Like, what? It's not supposed to be blue. This is how Cecil normally looks. It's supposed to look like this. But for this one frame, dude's mustache is blue. It looks fresh. I guess he's like an emo kid. He dyed his mustache blue, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's move over to another episode with more mistakes.
SpongeBob, will you make that racket stop? SpongeBob, you open this door right then!
Season 4 Squid Wood is an interesting episode where SpongeBob makes a puppet version of Squidward that people like more than regular Squidward. I don't know about you guys, but that would really upset me. That would cheese me, dude, if people liked a puppet version of Cartoon Corey more than real Cartoon Corey. But anyways, this episode has a mistake. Keep those eyes peeled, guys. I want you to spot this one without my help. Leave a comment on what the mistake is before I reveal it. Roll the footage.
Can I take your order?
No, I don't like your attitude, bub. Is this what the Krusty Krab calls friendly service?
So take a look at this shot of the inside of the Krusty Krab, okay? It looks like this. We've got Squidward's cash register right here. There's the order window where SpongeBob would give Squidward the Krabby Patties, and there's the door to Mr. Krabs' office, okay? It's a really big part of the inside of the Krusty Krab. Well, during this scene when Sandals over here is placing his order, both the door to Mr. Krabs' office and the window to the kitchen are missing. This is a really weird mistake to make. It seems the animators were just too lazy to draw something as simple as Mr. Krabs' door, and I mean, this window right here is so important. The door I get, but the window to the kitchen where SpongeBob literally pops out all the time? How did the animators miss that? But whatever, here's another mistake.
That was awful!
Take a look at this old geezer right here. This is Incidental 92. He is this like greenish color, okay? He's been other colors, but literally 90% of his appearances, he's been this green tone. Now, the mistake is that in Squid Wood, during this one shot, when Squidward is tweaking and snapping on mini Squidward over here, Incidental 92 is incorrectly colored as purple, which is just totally a mistake. Because as you guys see, like literally early on in the episode, the dude is green, and then he just changes colors. I don't know if that's possible. He looks good purple, but that's not how it works, guys. You can't just change the color of your skin in a matter of scenes, so yeah, a mistake. Let's keep this party going though, guys, and head over to our next episode. We've gotten to see many grandmas in SpongeBob. We've seen SpongeBob's grandmother in this iconic episode here, and we've also seen Mr. Krabs' grandmother before, even Squidward's. But in the season 7 episode, Grandma's Secret Recipe, we get to meet Plankton's. Take a look at this.
That looks simply delightful.
You once told me that this was your favorite flavor growing up as a child.
Ration?
I will say, as much as I like the plot for this episode, it is one of the most pointless episodes of SpongeBob ever, and it is kind of boring, so I don't recommend it. And there's no surprise that there's a mistake in the episode. Roll that footage!
Oh, great Grammy Ma, you win again! All hail the great Canasta Master!
This one's very subtle, but once I point it out, you'll see that it's like really bad. So when Plankton and SpongeBob are playing cards over here, the animation cell for the table in the background, this one right here, seems to be placed above SpongeBob's. So if you watch closely, parts of SpongeBob's left hand are erased or cut off multiple times when it goes near the table. I'm zooming in and putting it in slow motion right here, and look, you can see that his fingers get like cut off because they go like behind the table or something. It's a weird animation error. How this happened, I don't know, but they gotta be more careful because this one just looks rough, dude. What?
Dish. I wonder what it could mean.
Ouchie, hungry!
Shh, quiet. Try to think.
Here's another one from the Patrick Star show. I really do feel like this show is overrated. It's a bit of a weird spinoff, but anyways, here's the first mistake.
It's Robot Gardener Day!
I can't hear you because it's Robot Gardener Day.
Okay, so this character right here is Incidental 41, okay, and he looks like this. Now, in Patrick's Alley, we get this baby version of him. He's so adorable, I want to pinch his cheeks. Now, what's important is that Incidental 41's mouth, right here, his mouth and lips, are always purple, okay? Even in this episode, the baby version, we even see him with a purple mouth. But during this scene, when the babies are seen on the lawn, Incidental 41's mouth, well, baby Incidental 41's mouth, is awkwardly colored yellow randomly just for this scene. Like I said, it's purple throughout the episode, but in this one scene, it's yellow, and that is incorrect. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's just a character's mouth, but yeah, this is a mistake, and there's another one in this episode. We might have covered this one in the past, so I'm actually going to keep it quick, but while Patrick and Squidina are fishing, there's one frame where Squidina's left eye is purple, the same color as her body, so totally a mistake here, and guys, there's more to come. Let's head over to another episode. Up next is another Season 4 episode, this time, The Scent of Money. Now, this episode's actually pretty good. Take a look at some of these funny scenes.
You said that pets were nothing but disease-carrying vermin that should never be brought to the workplace?
It sure is hard being preggers.
Yeah.
Dude, seeing Mr. Krabs dressed up like a lady like this is so funny. Like, look at this dude. But this scene's also where we can spot a mistake. Roll the footage.
You look fine to me. Quit being such a baby and start making me some money. Excuse me, pregnant.
Yeah, so when Mr. Krabs is freaking out at Gary and just being like a psycho and says, now quit being such a baby and start making me some money, Mr. Krabs has problems, dude, what? Anyways though, as Mr. Krabs says this, the spots and spiral on Gary's shell disappears, like it's just gone. It's so weird seeing Gary like this. I'm zooming in, and him with just a bare pink shell is so weird. And it's not the only time it happens in this episode. It also happens during this scene.
Oh, who do you think you are? Jackpot!
Yeah, so take a look at this during the arcade scene. As Mr. Krabs lifts Gary up, at least the swirl's there, but the dots are gone. A little reminder for you guys, this is normally how Gary looks. He has the swirl and he has these dots right here. But when Mr. Krabs picks him up in this shot, those dots are just gone. Where'd they go? They're missing. SpongeBob Season 7 has a lot of hit or miss episodes, but the episode Welcome to Bikini Bottom Triangle is actually pretty good. It's one of the stronger episodes out of the season. Here, take a look for yourself. Take a look at some of these hilarious gags from the episode.
Yeah, backwards. What a stupid idea that.
Okay, it is mistake time, guys. Here's mistake number 1. Put your mistake glasses on and let's find it together.
And those two couldn't have made it, so it must have been that rotten pipsqueak plankton. I gotta stop that poor excuse of a life form from it.
It happens really, really, really fast. But when Mr. Krabs says, so it must have been that rotten pipsqueak plankton, this man seriously has beef with plankton, but when he says it, take a look at our favorite Krabs' left sleeve as it turns red. It turns to the same color as his skin. Moving from good old-fashioned SpongeBob to the Patrick Star Show, our next episode is called the Prehistoric Patrick Star Show. It's kind of like a spin-off episode where they go back in time. It's interesting. Here's some clips. I think it's personally a really good episode.
What today's show about, Cave Squadina?
See, like I said, it's actually pretty good. I feel like the Patrick Star Show gets way too much criticism, guys. Like, the show isn't perfect, but it is a good show. It has some funny moments. But anyways, what we're here to talk about isn't funny moments. We're here to talk about mistakes. It's why you clicked on the video. So here's the first mistake from this episode. Let's see if you guys can spot it without my help.
This me cave!
Were you able to catch it? Well, when Patrick Cave Star introduces his show at the end of the theme song, part of his outfit changes and gains an extra spot. At first, the outfit looks like this, and it's pretty consistent throughout the episode. But during this one part at the end of the theme song, his outfit is looking weird, man, and it has this extra spot here, which I guess isn't that big of a deal, but it's still a continuity error, and this episode has 2. Here's the next one. Let's see if you guys can find it without me helping you guys.
Dinosaur milk ice cream. It's edible.
This one happens fast, but when Patrick Cave Star finds a prehistoric version of Walter the Waiter selling dinosaur milk ice cream, this is a really cool reference because it's the same dude from the first SpongeBob movie, from Goofy Goobers. He makes these sundaes, as you can see right here. But anyways, when Patrick Cave Star finds him, Patrick's brown beard is just missing. It's just, they forgot to draw it during this one scene, and it's pretty funny. But let's keep the video going, guys, and head back over to SpongeBob. This next episode is hilarious. Next up is the episode House Sittin' for Sandy. This is a really good one. It's basically all about Sandy making the terrible decision of letting SpongeBob and Patrick watch her tree dome. And just, yeah, as you can imagine, SpongeBob and Patrick are not the most responsible people or fish or sponge and starfish. So yeah, it doesn't go very well. Here are some clips.
Was it me?
Yeah, this episode is crazy. Like, at one point, they accidentally activate a bunch of Sandy's robots and just, yeah, a bunch of havoc ensues. But anyways, we're here for mistakes, guys. Some spicy mistakes that you missed. I'm sure you guys missed this one. Keep those eyes peeled.
At the hands of a squirrel?
No, with a fishbowl on my head.
Eureka! It works! The experiment is a success!
Okay, so this first mistake is very complicated, so listen closely, guys, like listen carefully, all right? When Sandy aims the rubble reversal ray, SpongeBob is holding the beaker, as you can see right here, right? When Sandy fires it in SpongeBob and Patrick Scream, SpongeBob is now not holding the beaker. I mean, I don't know how he just put it down, but then when the tree dome is fixed, why does SpongeBob yet again have the beaker again? It's like a weird continuity error. I am nitpicking, but this is technically like a continuity error. But let's move over to the Patrick Star Show, and this one's really good, guys. I know you guys are not expecting this mistake. Let's do it. Next episode is A Space Affair to Remember, another episode of the Patrick Star Show, as I just said. This one is pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of the plot, I guess. I mean, the episode's fun, don't get it twisted, but I don't know. I'll let you guys decide for yourselves. Here are some clips summarizing the episode.
Dina and I got you reservations.
Who knew ancient Greece was so spacious? You cook a human. They don't even taste good.
Your mother and I had the best time we've had in years.
Well, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's a good plot? I don't know. But what I know that isn't good in this episode is this mistake. There's only one, and it happens quick, but it's still a really bad mistake. Take a look.
Not at all, son. Your mother and I had the best time we've had in years. Plus, now we have this great big juicy ham.
So here's the deal. When Benny and Cecil tell Patrick about their day at the space station, half of Bunny's lipstick appears to be missing. Here's a shot of her with the lipstick normal. It covers her whole, her lips. But here's the shot where half of it's missing. I don't even know how the animators made this mistake. It's a very strange one, but yeah, it's a mistake for sure. Up next is the Season 8 episode, Bubble Troubles. This episode is all about SpongeBob and Patrick being idiots like normal because they ruin Sandy's oxygen supply. As you guys know, Sandy's a squirrel, she isn't a fish, so she needs air. And in this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick really mess up. Here are some clips of what happens.
Hurry up, SpongeBob! I'm no doctor, but I don't think squirrels are supposed to be blue.
SpongeBob, Patrick, you guys could have killed Sandy, but the mistake in this episode is really interesting. It shows that the writer of this episode needs to go back and watch old SpongeBob. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
Luckily, I have just enough air in my submarine to get to the surface and refill my air tanks.
Phew, thank goodness.
This one's bad, so be prepared, okay? In the episode, there's a point where Sandy thinks she needs to drive her submarine to the surface to get more air, right? Because they're in Bikini Bottom, it's underwater. Sandy's a squirrel, so she needs air from the surface. But here's the thing. Back in the classic iconic episode Pressure, it's confirmed that Sandy can quite literally just walk up to the shore. As you can see right now in these clips, she literally walks to the shore. So whoever wrote this episode, Bubble Troubles, needs to go back and educate themselves on OG SpongeBob. Up next is an episode with a very intriguing name, The Krabby Patty That Ate Bikini Bottom. Sounds like a horror movie. In this episode, a Krabby Patty grows too large after Sandy adds one of Sandy's scientific ingredients to it. It's a very interesting plot. I personally like this episode. Here are some clips summarizing it.
Come on!
Yeah, Mr. Krabs, you are crazy, dude. You risked everything. You risked so many people's lives just to potentially make more money with your stupid Krabby Patties. But anyways, what's also stupid in this episode is the mistakes. There's a couple of them. Let's see if you guys can spot the first one without my help.
Can I borrow your telephone? It's ringing. Did you bring a Krabby Patty?
So here's the thing. Sandy's tree dome, right? The inside of it, there's no water. There's no water at all. We kind of talked about it in the last episode, right? No water. So there should be no bubbles inside her tree dome, right? Well, take a look at some of these shots. Normally when SpongeBob characters are underwater and they move around, there'll be little bubble animations, right? But inside Sandy's tree dome, that should not happen. But during this occasion, where Mr. Krabs puts the phone down, look, why are there bubble animations? It also happens when he picks it up. Look, there's bubble animations again. So if you understand animation in SpongeBob, this is definitely a mistake. And there's more. This episode has another mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot this one.
Spurt, that giant Krabby Patty is on a rampage!
Hold it!
Now, this one is admittedly kind of a nitpick, but anyways, in the kitchen, as you can see, this monster Krabby Patty eats SpongeBob's left shoe and his sock. But when SpongeBob and Squidward try to exit the restaurant, his sock and shoe reappear for no apparent reason and remain like that for the rest of the episode. Again, it makes sense because it's a cartoon, right? But this is still a bit of a weird continuity error. Maybe SpongeBob has an extra shoe and sock in his work locker. I don't know. But let's move over to episode number 3, which has even more crazy mistakes. As you guys know, Squidward is a very depressed character, and you know, I kind of get it. Squidward is very grumpy, and he can be kind of rude, but he's also very misunderstood. No one acknowledges what Squidward's good at in life, and I kind of get it. Everyone just roasts him and is mean. But anyways, our next episode is Are You Happy Now? And this episode is all about SpongeBob trying to help Squidward find a happy moment in life. It's kind of sad. Here's some clips.
I'll help you make a happiest memory.
Really? Do you think you can?
No problem.
Well, it's against my better judgment, but okay.
Like I said, this episode's really sad. Like, Squidward just literally doesn't have a happy memory, but thank goodness for SpongeBob actually trying to be his friend. But anyways, let's get into the mistakes. This episode has 2. Here's the first one. I want to see if you guys can find it without me assisting ya.
Oops, that was a sour note.
This is not my happiest memory.
This one is pretty bad, as when SpongeBob says, oops, that was a sour note, Incidental 104, who is sitting right behind him, is missing her shirt. This is a kid show, so the fact that she's literally just sitting there without a shirt on is very inappropriate. Like, how did the animators forgot to give her a shirt, but still drew her? Let's move on to mistake number 2.
All right, let me see that. The Krusty Krab worked.
This one isn't that big of a deal, I guess, but as you can see in this shot, Squidward drops the work schedule book on the grill, and it just burns immediately, like it's looking very crispy. But when it's lying on the grill while SpongeBob is reading it, why doesn't it burn? Just some weird decisions in this episode for sure. Next up is the season 8 episode, Smooth Jazz at Bikini Bottom. This episode is all about SpongeBob and Squidward trying to sneak backstage for a concert after they end up losing their passes. The concert's a Kelpie G concert, which is hilarious to me. Kelpie G is iconic. But anyways, here's some clips from the episode.
I show you the ticket, and then through some manner of folly, you destroy it!
Yeah, I love this episode. I think it's really funny, and I always love when SpongeBob and Squidward are kind of forced to like team up together. It's really funny. But what isn't so funny is the mistake in this episode. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
Now I'll finally get to meet the incomparable Kelpie.
Hey, this is a private area. Only people with backstage passes can come back here.
It's very easy to miss, but when SpongeBob and Squidward are at the Kelpie G concert, they are the only ones with backstage passes, even though everyone else should also have a backstage pass, right? Like, this was such a main plot point of the episode. Why don't all of these other Squidward-looking head dudes have their own backstage passes? So yeah, weird mistake. The episode, Pat the Horse, is a very interesting episode, with it being all about Patrick wanting to become a horse. Pretty much like he sees a picture of a horse and decides that, oh, I want to become a horse. Like, I'm not even joking, guys. This is a hilarious plot. Here's some clips from the episode. It's really funny.
Fucking Bronco.
Hey, I can't blame Patrick. You know, sometimes I wake up and I just feel like being a horse that day. And hey, the dude made for a pretty good horse for the most part. But anyways, let's get into what you guys clicked on this video for, and that is some spicy SpongeBob mistakes. Now look, this first one is somewhat of an understandable mistake due to the fact that SpongeBob is 2D animated, right? Like, 2D animation is not very easy. But during this scene, where SpongeBob sees Patrick running around as a horse in SpongeBob's yard, if you take a look at Patrick's shadow, it keeps disappearing and reappearing underneath him. Here's some footage in slow motion showing this. Not that big of a deal. We have more mistakes in this episode. Let's move over to mistake number 2.
My little way back!
That's me money running away! Come back!
Yeah, so as you can see here in this shot, well, this scene, a bunch of kids fall. And as you can see, the last kid to fall was first seen as light blue. You can see him right here, he's light blue, this kid. But then in a later shot, the dude just randomly changes to green, as you can see in this shot right here. I don't know how the animators even make these types of mistakes, but that kid is green now. Used to be blue, he's green now. And guys, believe it or not, this episode actually has a third mistake, so let's get right into that one. Now, to be honest, this one is not that big of a deal, and it's kind of a nitpick. Like, it's actually really hard to make out. But during this scene where Patrick eats the seaweed field, if you look at him, he's actually slightly orange, like kind of orange. He's still like pink, but you can see that his colors are just off. I don't know, man. Dude is looking way more like an orange in this one scene, so yeah. Anyways, let's move over to episode number 2, guys, which has tons of mistakes. Let's do it. Next up is a early SpongeBob classic back during the Steven Hillenburg era. As you guys know, my favorite time to be a SpongeBob fan, but the episode is Valentine's Day, which of course is all about Valentine's Day. But it isn't about SpongeBob getting something for Sandy or something. He actually gets something for his best friend Patrick, and from here I'll let the clips explain, the premise of this episode. Take a look.
Happy Valentine's Day! Here's your present.
And I have a present for you. Patrick's still trying to guess what his Valentine is. Here it is!
You got me a handshake?
Yeah! Sandy's here! Woo!
Man, SpongeBob is a really good friend. Like, the amount of commitment he went to just to get Patrick this gift. I know they're dealing with, shenanigans in this episode. There's freaking flying clams trying to bite the chocolate balloon. But overall, SpongeBob's a good friend and Sandy's really nice for helping. What isn't so nice though are the mistakes in this episode. Let's get right into them.
I got my ox in a ditch here. I'm way off course.
So I mentioned the chocolate balloon earlier, and that's actually a big part of the first mistake. So as you can see, this chocolate balloon has a basket attached to the bottom of it. You see it early on in the episode, you see it during many scenes in this episode. But when Sandy fights the chocolate-eating scallops off, the balloon's basket seems to be missing, only showing the string attached to it. The basket does reappear when Sandy arrives at the carnival though, but during this one shot, the basket's just gone. They forgot to draw it, I guess. The season 11 episode is good, but I'll admit the plot is very convenient and random. Pretty much, Mr. Krabs takes a vacation. I'm surprised such a cheapskate would take a vacation, but he takes one. And for some reason decides to make Larry the Lobster the temporary manager of the Krusty Krab. Well, it isn't so random actually. I'll let these clips explain why it happens. Yeah, I don't think a gym bro like Larry is a very good option as the manager of a fast food establishment, right? The Krusty Krab sells the greasiest burgers in the world, and then you're gonna have Larry come in who's a freaking gym maniac. Anyways, let's get into what you guys clicked on the video for, and that's mistakes. Here's mistake number 1. This mistake is pretty simple, and you guys probably could have spotted it yourself. When Fred is first seen in the line at the start of the episode, he's wearing this fresh watch on his wrist, alright? He's got a Rolex on. Fred, he's ballin'. However, when he and the other customers complain about Bubble Bass taking too long to order, the watch has now just disappeared. Maybe he took it off, I don't know. He was probably afraid that Bubble Bass was gonna eat his watch. This was probably a continuity error by the animators. They probably forgot. Simple mistake.
Sandy, I gotta show you this. Pick a card, any card. Wow! Sandy, where's your head?
Our next episode is from Modern SpongeBob, season 12 to be exact, and it's One Trick Sponge. This episode's all right. It's pretty much about SpongeBob learning a new magic trick. Not the best episode in my opinion, so let's move right into the good stuff. Well, the not so good stuff, that being the mistakes. This episode has one. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Ooh, gotta go, SpongeBob. I'm washing my thighs tonight.
This one is pretty complicated, so I need you guys to pay close attention, alright? So, when SpongeBob goes to Fred's house right here, Fred is the dude who's always like, my leg!
My leg?
Yeah, that guy. When SpongeBob goes to his house, the direction he moves would mean that Fred's house is opposite from Mr. Krabs and Pearl's house, as you can see right here. Remember this, based on this shot, it would mean that Fred's house is like opposite to Mr. Krabs. You gotta remember this. However, in a later shot, Mr. Krabs' house is nowhere to be seen and is replaced with a kelp forest. So I don't know what happened here. The animators at first drew it as if Fred's house is right across from Mr. Krabs, but then they forgot and were lazy and then just drew a kelp forest instead. Not that big of a deal because it's a cartoon, but this is still a weird mistake. Some continuity errors, but let's keep it moving and head over to our next episode. This one is crazy, guys. Stay tuned.
It's all about you, girl. On your 16th birthday, we'll pay attention to you, girl.
The episode Whale of a Birthday is filled to the brim when it comes to mistakes. Like, there are so many mistakes in this episode. For now, we're gonna focus on these 3 spicy ones. Here are some clips. Let's see if you guys can catch them.
Pearl, come here. This is so coral.
So this is another somewhat complicated one, but once I point it out, it'll make total sense to you guys, right? When Pearl and her friends are at the mall, as you can see here, she looks at the sea pony. I kinda want a sea pony, guys, that'd be kinda cool. But more importantly, in the first shot, it shows the dogfish tank right next to it, with a clear separation of the 2 tanks, okay? Remember this. On one side, there is a sea pony, right, in one tank, and then on the other side, there's the dogfish. And there's this thing right here, which clearly divides them and separates them into 2 different tanks. But a few seconds later, and now the sea pony shares a tank with the dogfish. They're just in one tank. Like, the entire art of this one spot looks completely different now, which was like a really lame mistake on the animators' end. Like, I don't even know how they made this mistake. It's very easy to miss, but let's keep it moving. Mistake number 2 is just as spicy. Roll the footage.
Oh my gosh, it's Billy Fishkin. Hi, Billy.
Now this one isn't too big of a deal, it's still like a bad mistake. I can understand how the animators slipped up on it. But when Pearl and her friends meet Billy over here, when facing in the front, her lipstick disappears for an entire frame. It's only for like 1 frame and then it pops back in. Like, you'll only catch it by the footage being in slow motion. But I mean, it still happens. A little bit of a mistake here, not that big of a deal. Let's move over to the next mistake, which is a pretty big deal. Roll the footage.
Uh-oh. Everybody brace for impact!
I have no idea how this mistake happened, but first of all, here's a clip of the inside of the Krusty Krab. And as you can see, the tables look like this. This is like the normal table design of the Krusty Krab. It's looked like this ever since Help Wanted, the first ever episode of SpongeBob. But the animators were tweaking in this episode because when Pearl runs into the Patreons of the Krusty Krab crying in this one scene, the tables are like plain beige. They're just like this random different coloring design instead of their normal designs. Normally they look like this, but in this one shot, I don't know what they were doing this episode, what was going on at the SpongeBob animation offices, but that's not how the Krusty Krab tables look. So yeah, a big mistake here. And let's keep it moving, guys. Let's head over to the next episode. Let's go, let's keep this going.
Bag me. Okay, sit.
Up next is a sneaky mistake in the episode Pat the Dog. Roll the footage.
Shall we try roll over? Patrick!
So I already know that this one needs some explaining because it's just a very subtle and complicated error. But when SpongeBob says Patrick, wait, if you look closely, his right thumb and arm are only partially outlined, and they kind of look a little neon green. Forget about the neon green part though. If you look very closely, you can see half of his arm is outlined, and then the other half where his thumb and the inside of his arm are, they just weren't outlined. It's a very simple mistake. The animators, I don't know what they were doing, but this is a mistake, guys, and we've got more. Let's keep the video going. Next up, we have the episode, The Crusty Bucket. This episode has quite the elaborate plot. Here's some clips summarizing what happens in this episode. It'll help make the mistake make a ton more sense.
You married a genius, Karen. Using the DNA from Krabs' hair and my own DNA, I will create a combo clone of me and Krabs to finally steal the secret formula. Behold, Plank Crab! Now here's my plan.
Don't waste your breath, Plankarin. I already mapped out the perfect plot to swipe that formula. Oh, nothing much, just stealing the formula. What? Taking over this restaurant.
But how?
All it took me, Hardy, was a hearty handshake.
Your handshake is exquisite. I'd believe anything you say.
I'll also be commandeering the chum bucket from now on.
This Krabby Patty tastes even better than usual.
Well, it's the same old patty, except now each one has a pinch of chum added.
So, you two scallywags want to work for me, eh?
I want to be the manager.
Just so happens I'm looking for 2 new managers to manage me toilets.
He did it! He did it! No, he did it! No, he did it! No, he did it!
Where are you sitting with Plankton?
Why are you siding with Krabs? They're arguing
and splitting out.
I'm hating myself because I'm torn.
Plankton gets into some wacky science in this episode, like he made a clone fusing himself with his arch nemesis, his biggest enemy ever, Mr. Krabs. What a crazy episode. But you know what's even more crazy? You guessed it, the mistake in this episode, guys. Roll the footage, let's see if you guys can spot it.
I'm hating myself because I'm torn.
This is yet another complicated mistake. I mean, it's not that complicated, but you gotta listen closely or else you'll be like, what are you talking about, Cartoon Corey? But anyways, so when Plank Crab, which is like the hybrid clone of Plankton and Mr. Krabs, is splitting up, both red and green Plank Crab have red hands, okay? You can see it right here. I'm zooming in on it. Both red and green Plank Crab have red hands. But after successfully splitting, red Plank Crab has green hands now. So like I said in this shot, dude has red hands, but now he has green hands, which is a bit of an animation mix-up here. I guess it's not that big of a deal, but it's a mistake, that is for sure. Dude, whenever we get to talk about anything from SpongeBob season 1, 2, or 3, you know your boy is gonna be a very happy man. So I'm very happy about this next mistake that can be found in the episode Idiot Box. Here's some clips from this hilarious classic episode. This episode is so good.
See anything yet, Patrick?
I need my glasses.
See, I told you, this episode is amazing, and I'm sure most of you guys have seen this episode before because it is so iconic. I mean, imagination, right?
Imagination.
Like, that is such an iconic meme, and that meme actually has a mistake in it, guys. Here's a clip of that iconic scene.
You've just set sail on the SS Imagination.
So here's the mistake. This is how a real rainbow looks. Like, here's some actual footage of a real life rainbow. And as you can see, this is how the colors look. Well, you probably can guess the mistake now, because in Idiot Box, whenever SpongeBob makes a rainbow with his hands, the colors are actually upside down from what an actual rainbow would be. So a bit of a mistake here, not that big of a deal. I mean, who cares? But I thought I'd share it with you guys. But let's keep the video moving and head over to another mistake that's even crazier in another episode. Next up is the episode Growth Spurt, which is all about Pearl becoming very big. I don't know, I guess she just eats, and Pearl, she goes through a massive growth spurt and becomes huge. Like, I really feel bad for Mr. Krabs in this episode because Pearl already eats a lot, but damn, son, damn, here's some clips.
What's that green stuff in your pocket?
Where?
There!
Me money?
I'll just have to eat this.
Pearl is wildin' in this episode. Like, as you guys heard, at one point, she literally threatens to eat Mr. Krabs' money. Like, this girl is so hungry, she would have eaten his money. But anyways, let's get into the mistake in this episode. It's really bad. Keep those eyes peeled.
That sounded like my beloved teenage daughter, Pearl. I'm coming, princess!
So heading back to the beginning of the episode, we see numerous parts of Pearl's body grow. For example, her fin, we see it blast through the mirror in the washroom, which is crazy, and her feet grow. But here's the issue. This changes as the episode progresses. For example, her fin, it gets massive and blasts through the mirror, but then when Mr. Krabs goes into the next room, her fin's like the normal size again. It isn't as big as it was a moment ago, so that's one continuity error. But also, her feet grow, right? As we can see in this shot, but then when she's at the Krusty Krab, she's seen wearing her regular boots. So like, I don't know what's going on here. I guess the animators forgot about these limbs blowing up and becoming so big and made a little bit of a mistake here. But let's move over to another episode that has some even more interesting mistakes, because I'll admit these ones were kind of weak, but these next mistakes are crazy.
Witness the beauty! Come on, Larry, get your art on!
My eyes!
Up next is the episode Out of the Picture from season 10, a nice HD episode for you guys. I mean, look at how nice the footage looks. This episode is pretty interesting. Pretty much, Mr. Krabs realizes that Squidward's art, all of his lame art that he makes, I think it's actually kind of nice. Everybody else thinks it's lame, but Mr. Krabs realizes that if Squidward dies, that his art will be worth more money and he can sell it. Yeah, Mr. Krabs, you are a terrible boss, dude. Like, you're an awful boss, man. But anyways, here are some clips from the episode.
Got a delivery for you, Mr. Squidward.
I've got a delivery from the Krusty Krab. Delivery from the Krusty Krab.
Man, Mr. Krabs sends Squidward on quite the adventure in this episode. This dude goes everywhere, including good old-fashioned Rock Bottom. I love this place. It's actually a reference to seasons 1, 2, and 3, back to the episode literally Rock Bottom. I love Rock Bottom and I love old school SpongeBob. But anyways, let's get into the mistake for this episode as it has to do with Rock Bottom.
Left, stop! Rock Bottom!
Alright, so watch closely. When Squidward first arrives in Rock Bottom, the bus station is missing. And here's even a piece of footage from the original Rock Bottom episode. Here's the bus station. But when Squidward first arrives, the animators must have just forgotten about this and they straight up did not draw the bus station, making for a continuity error here. By the way, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe right now, because if you comment, I'll respond. I respond to the comments of all of my subscribers. So if you are subscribed and you comment, I'll respond. It's that simple. Literally right now, if you subscribe, I'll see that you're subscribed in YouTube Studio to confirm it, and then I'll respond to your comment. It's that simple, guys. So I love you guys. I'm Cartoon Corey. I'm going to be live streaming soon, so hit that bell. That way you get a notification when I go live. You never want to miss it. Expect in the next coming weeks to see more Easter egg videos, deadly moment videos, and hey, even let me know in the comments other types of SpongeBob videos you want us to do, because I'd love to do them.
Money, oh money, oh I love thee. Cha-ching, cha-chong, cha-changaroo. From pennies to dollars, any amount to do.
I'm going to make this one very, very quick. Roll the footage. Here's the mistake in the episode, selling out.
See that? Without all your smoke and mirrors, no one would stomach this garbage.
What'd he say? Garbage?
Okay, so this character right here is Incidental 42, and in every episode before this one, this character always has a male voice, okay? A male voice. Here are some examples.
No food. 3 days.
As you heard, this dude, it sounds like a dude, right? But in the episode Selling Out, Incidental 42 has a female voice when he says, "What did he say? Garbage?" Really strange mistake, but let's keep it rolling, baby. Let's keep this show going.
I'll take another one, this time with less managers.
One really good episode from season 13 is Goofy Scoopers. I mean, anything Goofy Goobers related, I love. But like any episode, this episode has a mistake. Here's the mistake. Let's see if you can catch it.
Let's rock!
It also takes place closer to the ending of the episode, but during this close-up of Clem playing the trumpet, that man is playing the heck out of that trumpet, take a look at his shirt, as the stripes on his shirt switch colors at the end. First it looks like this, but then they just switch colors, which is really strange. But let's keep it moving, gang. We've got more mistakes than this, and they're spicy.
I mean, positive.
Too sicky.
Okay, so our next mistake can be found in another season 13 episode, Squidward's Sick Days. And this one is really funny because when you really think about it, it's actually like a hilarious mistake. Here are the clips, roll the footage.
I can't believe I'm dreaming about work when there's so many more interesting things I could be doing. Just look at my unfinished painting and my uneaten strudel.
So this delicious looking strudel right here, guys. I want a bite of this. Do you want a bite of it? Leave a comment. Would you eat this strudel? I want some of it. But yeah, the strudel, okay? As you can see, there is steam coming off of it, so it's hot, right? Like they're really animating this strudel as if it's hot. It's steaming hot. But here's the problem. Squidward had just woken up, right? Like he just woke up during the scene. And we know that he made the strudel the day before, yesterday, right? He made it and then put it out by the window so it would cool the previous day. So how is it hot still? He made the strudel yesterday and he just woke up. The dude didn't just wake up and the strudel was still hot. So this is just a really silly mistake. I hope you guys get what I'm saying for it, because this is a bad one. But anyways, during that same scene, there's actually another mistake. I'm gonna roll the clip again really quickly. Did you spot it?
And my uneaten strudel. My strudel!
Yeah, so when Patrick bites into that delicious strudel that is somehow still hot, even though it's a day old, Patrick's eyebrows disappear for a split second. It literally only happens for a second as he's eating the pastry, but yeah, talk about two mistakes in one scene, guys. And I have one more mistake from this episode, one more.
In my imagination, you're a helpless little baby. You're sicker than I thought.
So take a look at this painting right here, okay? As you can see in the painting, SpongeBob is holding a baby Squidward. Aw, Squidward, you're such a cute baby. Now, as you can see, SpongeBob's arm on the left from our viewing perspective is yellow right here. But take a look at his other arm in the picture, as it's green. The animator's messed up. His arm's supposed to be yellow, but his arm's the same color as Squidward. Dude, what? This is a really bad one, guys. Look at how awkward that looks, but let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
Run for it, man!
I love this next episode, Enemy-in-Law, just because the plot is so funny. Plankton falls in love with Betsy Krabs, Mr. Krabs' mom. Imagine having like a mortal enemy and falling in love with their mama. Their mama. Plankton, you're crazy. Anyways though, here are some clips summarizing this episode. It's really funny.
Why did I ever buy that computer wife? I need a real woman. Such beauty. She's an angel and no wires. I don't even know her name, and yet she's stolen my heart.
You've fallen in love with another woman?
Roses are red, violets are blue. World domination has nothing on you.
Am I really that pretty?
Just dial the number and ask her to dinner. Come on, you can do this. It's your secret admirer.
Oh, you're that giant robot.
No, I programmed the robot. I've admired you from afar for too long, my angel. We must meet face to face.
How about the Krusty Krab? Tonight at 8?
Sounds wonderful.
Me new boyfriend bought me this hat.
Boyfriend? Someone to spend time with you? That's wonderful! What's his name?
I don't know. I'm meeting him here tonight.
Wonderful! I'll stay open late so you can have a nice romantic dinner. Now run along.
I must say you look ravishing tonight.
Oh my, you're a tiny thing, but awfully cute. Tell me about yourself.
I'm the founder and owner of the Chum Bucket.
Never heard of it.
It's across the street.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Like the crabs!
Eugene!
Mommy?
Mommy? This delectable creature is your mother?
This no-good conniving chiseler is your date?
And this devilishly handsome sponge is your waiter.
Eugene! You put me boyfriend down this instant!
Boyfriend?
But, Mommy!
You heard the lady. Let me go.
Stay away from me, Mother! I know what you're really up to.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Krabby Patty formula!
Your mother knows the Krabby Patty formula?
It's an old Krabs family recipe, and you're not family.
Not family, eh? Well, I can fix that.
This episode is full of mistakes. You guys know the drill. I'm gonna play some clips, and the mistake's gonna be in there. Hopefully, you guys can spot it.
And all it took was the love of a beautiful woman.
Well, you love is thieving and conniving. Now stop trying to get the formula out of me, Mother!
First things first, take a look at this scene where Mr. Krabs barges into the Chum Bucket in anger, as some scenes show these red pipes on the wall, but then some scenes where we get the same shots are missing the red pipes. So in some shots there's red pipes, some shots there aren't. I don't know what the plumbing situation is in the Chum Bucket, but they need to get that sorted. And that's not it.
It's across the street. It's on the back of the phone book. Come on, I paid a lot of money for that ad.
As when Plankton walks into the Krusty Krab with a rose during this scene, as you can see right here, there is a burger sticker on the window. Now I'm hungry. I really want to go and get myself a McDouble. But the problem is, once Plankton's actually inside the store, there is now no stickers at all. This then happens again when Mr. Krabs walks in. You can see the sticker, the burger sticker, but then from the inside, it's gone. First up is the episode Karen 2.0, and as all of you guys know, Plankton over here has a computer wife. Dude, imagine being that desperate that you need to marry a computer. But anyways, the episode has two mistakes. Here's the first one. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
I hope this works. Oh, Karen.
So the first mistake is kind of a weird one, and you guys definitely need to pay attention so it makes sense, okay? But at one point in the episode, we see Plankton go and put a battery inside Karen Classic, the original Karen. So this tells us that Karen needs a battery in order for her to work outside of the Chum Bucket, because she can't be plugged in, she needs a battery. But here's the issue, right? When he opens the battery hole to put a new battery in, there's no battery inside. So before this, when we seen original classic Karen moving around, how is she moving around? She needs a battery to work, but there was never a battery inside of her to begin with. So a little bit of a weird continuity error here. It's not that big of a deal, but this other error is really bad.
You glorified toaster oven, you poor excuse for a housewife.
Yeah, man.
Did ya catch it? Well, during this scene where Incidental 107 and this blue version of Fred are standing together, when Fred blinks, his eyelids are the wrong color. And it's kind of funny, guys, because when it comes to this character, Fred, there's two different versions of him. There's the brown version and the blue version. So when Fred was blinking here, I think the animators messed up and used the brown version's eyelids. I don't know, it's whatever. But let's move over to another episode, guys, and stay tuned because I've got some crazy mistakes.
Cheers.
Oh, did you hear that? Someone somewhere just dropped a penny.
Penny? Where?
Our next episode with tons of mistakes is the episode Face Freeze. Here's the first mistake, guys. It's not too bad, but it's also pretty bad at the same time. Take a look.
Onion juice! Ah!
Come on, SpongeBob, chop chop!
Okay.
This first one is very easy to miss, to be honest. Like, I had a hard time finding it, and I'm sure our editor even had a bit of a hard time finding it. But when Squidward ducks behind the wall after saying chop chop, our dude is clipping through the wall. He's just going through it, and just, yeah, look at this zoom in. That is a bad mistake, Squidward. You shouldn't be clipping through other objects, especially walls. Hey, mistakes happen, but there's actually more in this episode. Roll the clip. Here's the other mistake, and guys, watch closely.
What y'all need is a massage.
And you're a licensed masseuse, right, Sandy?
Well, I wouldn't say licensed. Just sit back, relax.
Now, I'm sure you guys are asking, Cartoon Corey, what is the mistake here? What's the problem, man? What's going on? But take a look at this clip from season 1 and the mistake will make sense. Here's a hint. It has to do with SpongeBob being inside of Sandy's tree dome.
There's no water in here.
I'm trying to tell you.
If y'all needed water, you should have asked.
Yeah, so as you just seen, usually SpongeBob and Patrick would dry up inside of Sandy's tree dome. Like, these dudes cannot survive without water. But it seems that this rule is just completely lifted in Face Freeze because the dudes are just walking around like there's no issues in Sandy's tree dome. They are not wearing helmets at all. And this is most likely due to the fact that a big part of this episode is them making all of these wacky faces, as you can see here. This is a massive mistake, guys. Like, this completely goes against SpongeBob lore, but whatever. Let's keep it moving and head over to another episode with tons of insane mistakes that you've never seen before. Don't click off yet.
What else did you buy at this convention? Your very own locomotive?
Yes.
Next up is the season 6 episode, Professor Squidward, which, to be honest with you guys, is not the best episode. You know, the plot is kind of cool because we get to see Squilliam, but not the best episode. What it does have, though, is this mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Isn't it grand? He's such a great musician. He doesn't even have to touch an instrument to be brilliant.
All right, I've had enough.
So this character right here is known as Incidental F9, and as you can see, she's wearing this dress. It looks very good, she looks very pretty. But seconds later after that shot I just showed you, when we hear Fred say, "Isn't it grand?" Incidental F9's dress is missing. Her dress is just gone, and I highly doubt Shorty took her dress off in the middle of... Like, what? Where's her dress? Where'd it go? That's not it for this episode, guys. I have another mistake. This one, though, you really need to pay attention to.
Hello!
Like I said, this one's kind of complicated, guys, so listen closely. So during this scene where Patrick rides his locomotive into the trash can, we can see Squidward exit the building from this door right here, this door, and it leads to outside where he places the trash can, right? This door right here leads to outside, remember. But later on in this episode, this completely changes. It's like the animators forget, because when both news crews and the police come into Squidward's classroom, they enter the same door that Squidward took to go outside, but now it leads to a hallway. Before it led to here, outside, now it leads to a hallway. So a bit of a continuity error here. I don't know what's going on, but let's keep the video going, guys, and head over to another crazy episode with tons of mistakes. Don't click off.
Well, I'm full. I told you so, Gary.
Plankton and the Beanstalk is a fairly new episode. Like, I'm pretty sure it only premiered like a week ago, guys. So, you know, Cartoon Corey, he's got you covered with the new SpongeBob. I hate to say it though, this episode does have a small mistake. And I will say in advance, guys, this one isn't that big of a deal. The other mistakes we're going to be covering in today's video are much better, so stay tuned. But roll the footage, here's the mistake.
It's ready! It's ready!
Edible gold, edible gold, edible gold!
So throughout this episode, we're introduced to Sponge Duck over here, which is a very interesting take on SpongeBob, you know? But anyways, as you can see, Sponge Duck over here wears this red shirt, and it's on him for a majority of the episode. It's always there. But during this one shot, it might be due to the angle, but the red shirt is missing. And guys, honestly, even with this angle being different, you should still be able to see some of the red shirt. But this is a cartoon. It's not that big of a deal. Let's move over to another episode that has some jaw-dropping mistakes. Be prepared. Let's keep it moving. So that last episode was from SpongeBob Season 13, the most recent season of SpongeBob, so let's go back in time to old SpongeBob, the Steven Hillenburg era, and talk about some mistakes in the episode, Your Shoes Untied. I love this episode, it's a good one. Any classic SpongeBob I love. Anyways though, here's the first mistake, roll the footage.
Oh yeah, we are definitely out of here.
Yes!
This one is really funny. So guys, when the customers start to leave the Krusty Krab in this scene, this character right here, known as Incidental 67, wears a pair of pants that are similar to SpongeBob's, okay? You can see them right here. They're kind of fresh. Look at this guy, jacking SpongeBob's style, stealing his drip. Here's the problem though, guys. When the customers leave, this Incidental's pants just disappear. Where are they? At first, he's wearing these pants right here, but then in this scene, they're just gone. And again, just like Incidental F9, I highly doubt he took off his pants in the middle of the Krusty Krab. The burgers ain't that good, guys. But anyways, let's keep it moving and head over to another mistake in this episode. This one's pretty bad.
What's the holdup?
Now, any hardcore SpongeBob fan like myself knows that this character right here is Old Man Walker. And I mean, it's in his name. He's old. He's an old man. I love the guy, but he's a senior citizen. But I guess whoever made this episode kind of forgot about this, because when Old Man Walker says, "What's the holdup?" to Squidward, he talks in a young man's voice. Here's a clip right here showing his old voice again from another episode.
Hey, you!
Top of the morning, oldster.
Hey, I saw you on TV last night.
New brand flake.
He's old, right? As you just heard. Well, listen to his voice again in this episode.
What's the holdup?
Dude is like a young man again somehow. I don't know how this happened, but this was definitely a mistake, guys. This one's kind of bad, but hey, that's not it for today's video. Let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. Let's go.
Well, it's like they always say back in the old country, lad.
What's that?
I don't know, I've never been to the old country.
Next up is the season 6 episode, Pet or Pest. And this episode has 3 mistakes in it, so I'm just gonna get right into them. Here's the first mistake. Did you catch it on your own? Well, during this scene where this truck nearly like ends these worms, like these worms were about to be squished. If you look closely, there's no driver in the truck. Like this truck is moving and being driven, but there's no one in the driver's seat actually driving the truck. So this was a major mistake here. Like this was some laziness. And it doesn't end there for this episode. Here's the next mistake.
Great idea you had, Mr. Krabs.
Well, it's like they always say back in the old country, lad.
What's that?
I don't know, I've never been to the old country.
This one is very easy to miss, and shout out to our editor for finding it. But towards the ending of the episode, when SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs are selling the worms, one of SpongeBob's green holes turns red for less than a second. Again, it happens really fast, so I guess it's not that big of a deal, but I mean, SpongeBob's holes are not supposed to be red, and I mean, SpongeBob, if they were, you need to go talk to the doctor about that one, because that's not very good. What also isn't very good, though, is the last mistake in this episode right here. Get ready, guys. This one is just embarrassing.
What is it? I'm reckoning.
Like I said, this one is really bad. So when SpongeBob is throwing out the worms, we see this blue fish approach right here and smell it, right? And what's really important here is we hear his voice, okay? Remember, he's blue. This is him right here. And he also has slime on his finger. You can see it right here. But when the scene changes, this fish changes colors. Like I said, he was blue and you see him put the slime on his fingers, but now when it flips, he's now green. He has the slime on his fingers. That's how we know it's the same fish, and he also has the same voice. So yeah, this was a major mix-up here. First he was blue, we see him put the slime on his finger, but then when it switches, the slime is on the finger of a completely different fish, and they have the same voice. So I know I'm kind of over-explaining this one, just it's easy to kind of miss it, but yeah, this episode is full of mistakes, guys, and let's keep it moving over to another episode with more crazy mistakes. Let's head over to Cephalopod Lodge, an episode from season 6 that I personally really like. Here's some funny clips from the episode. We're gonna get into the mistakes, but I don't want you guys to miss these clips. The episode is hilarious.
They didn't let you join either?
Ah, I found the institution had nothing left to offer me. I was stagnating.
Oh, I couldn't be better.
Master Krabs!
Like I said, it's funny, right? Give the episode a chance, but baby, it is mistake time. Here's this episode's mistake. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
Patty cake, Sailor Man!
Everybody knows patty cake.
We don't use our pinkies.
Okay, this one isn't that big of a deal, but SpongeBob and Patrick's secret handshake has them play patty cake without using their pinkies, right? This is something that they specify in the episode, as you could hear in the clips we just played. And remember this, guys, because it's important. When they play patty cake, they don't use their pinkies. Remember this. However, when they eventually demonstrate the handshake to Squidward in this scene, take a look.
Patty cake, Sailor Man! Bake me a cake as well!
SpongeBob, that's not a secret handshake.
Yeah, as you've seen, they clearly used their pinkies, like their pinkies touch each other, despite the fact that they said they play patty cake without using their pinkies. So a bit of a mistake here, it's not that big of a deal. Up next is another fairly new episode of SpongeBob, Dopey Dick, and I actually really like the episode. But before we get into the mistakes, here are some really funny clips from this episode. It's so funny.
I wouldn't be caught dead on a ship.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Right, me loyal crew?
Now, the mistake in this episode is very easy to miss. Like this one, I had to watch it a couple of times to actually catch it, okay? It's your guys' turn to catch it. Watch closely. Here's the clip.
The brownie rope, the smiley rope, and licorice rope.
Again, it's very easy to miss, but after Pat Buck shows this version of Squidward, the smiley rope, take a look at the top of Squidward's head, because it's cut off for a few frames. Like, I'm gonna zoom in right here. You can see that there's still like the sky at the top, and just a piece of the top of Squidward's head is just cut off. It's missing, and that is a pretty bad mistake right there.
When you touch them together, you'll be instantly transformed into our duplicates.
We're ready!
Dude, these mistakes in the episode shuffleboarding are, like, baffling. Take a look at this first one.
What?
You're all wet. You need to dry out.
What? No!
Now, I don't know how the animators made this mistake, but when SpongeBob is turning the dryer over here to shrink, take a look at his arm because it's orange. As most of you know, SpongeBob's arms are yellow. They've been yellow since the first season, but I guess the animators made a little mistake with coloring here because dude's arm is orange. SpongeBob, you gotta go talk to a doctor about that, dude. It's supposed to be yellow. And that's not it for this episode, guys. Here's another mistake. I need you guys to pay close attention. So take a look at these people falling down from the sky, all right? We can see this fish right here with red pants. Well, once this little dude lands on the ground, he just disappears. Take a look at the footage in slow motion. Literally, as he hits the ground, he just disappears. It's really funny. Talk about a bad mistake. And guys, this episode still has one more. Let's see if you guys can spot it. Just like that fish with the red pants, SpongeBob and Patrick have a little situation with disappearing off of the screen, as when SpongeBob and Patrick walk away from the prison, just as it epically explodes, our boys suddenly disappear out of the screen. Rather than gradually disappearing like they would in other episodes, they just suddenly disappear and it's very abrupt. It's not that big of a deal. We've got some crazier mistakes coming up in the episode, so stay tuned, but it's still somewhat of a mistake. But yeah, let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. First up is the very new episode, Fun Believable, from SpongeBob Season 13. This episode just premiered and has 3 mistakes. Here's the first one.
Hey, Rube, should we come back later?
Yeah, later would be good.
Honestly, I had to double take for this one, as when Rube says yeah, later would be good, take a look at Sandy's stomach. It's missing. It's not supposed to look like that. Normally, as most of you probably know, Sandy looks like this, but in this one shot, yeah. I don't know what's going on with her stomach, but yeah, these SpongeBob animators messed up a little bit. Let's keep it going though and head over to mistake number 2 from this same episode.
Excuse us, Rube, but Patrick and I have something to show you. It's fun believable.
Show us what you got.
Now this one is just bad, as when SpongeBob says it's fun believable, his mouth disappears for a split second. Mistakes happen sometimes, but dude lost his entire mouth. SpongeBob needs that to eat Krabby Patties, so I mean, come on guys. Here's another mistake though. This one is just funny, so stay tuned.
We're ready for you.
Are you sure?
So take a close look at this scene while SpongeBob and Patrick rise out of these coffins, as SpongeBob's tie is colored brown like his pants. Normally SpongeBob's tie looks like this. I don't even think I need to show you guys, it's red, but for some reason here it's brown. It's most likely what happened here is the animators got mixed up with the color of SpongeBob's pants, which are brown, and made the tie the same color, but whatever. Mistakes happen, and I've got lots of more, even crazier mistakes than these ones, so let's head over to our next episode for today, guys.
I lost my pen.
You can borrow mine.
I lost something once. I lost something I couldn't live without. My identity.
Missing Identity is another season 3 banger. Such a good episode full of amazing moments, but it also has a mistake or two. And I hate to break it to you guys, here's some clips showing the mistakes.
Wait. Patrick!
Okay, so here's some context first. So as most of you probably already know, a big part of this episode is SpongeBob retracing his steps so he can find out where he lost his name tag, okay? So he goes through his day again and repeats steps that he did originally. But while SpongeBob is retracing his steps, he keeps missing a step between eating snail po and saying hi to Patrick. What is that step, you might be asking? That's putting his clothes on. As you can see in this shot, that was a big step, but when he's retracing them, he just skips it for some reason. Some of you guys might not really get this mistake here, but trust me, if you've watched the episode, it makes sense. Let's move over to another mistake that's a lot more digestible.
Guys, okay? Am I near the bathroom? Gary?
That last one was a bit weird. Like I said, you need to see the episode to get it, but this one is way more blatant. So when SpongeBob is tumbling downstairs, ouch, that must have hurt, the stairwell that's normally in SpongeBob's house wraps around the right side of the pineapple instead of the left. Normally it looks like this. Like any episode, if you pull up the inside of his house, you can see that the stairwell wraps to the left. But in this one episode, the animators must have forgot it or flipped the assets because it wraps around the right this time, which is wrong. It's wrong. Anyways though, let's move over to some worse mistakes, guys. Trust me, stay tuned. This next one is bad.
By the all-seeing eye, ye are worthy, we are not.
What are you two idiots doing?
Next up is the episode Good Neighbors, which is a pretty underrated episode in my opinion, but let's get into the juicy details. I know you guys want the mistakes. Here's mistake number 1.
Go out and paint all the leaves on the trees. Now, out. That'll keep them busy for a...
See you later, Squidward!
So this is another funny one, as when Squidward pushes SpongeBob and Patrick outside to go paint the leaves on the trees, as you can see, the door opens into into the house, right? So if you were to open the door goes inside the house. I'm showing you it in slow motion. Pay attention. But here's the issue. When SpongeBob and Patrick reappear and say, "See ya later, Squidward," the door now opens to the outside of the house. If you were to open the door, it comes outside. So this is a major mistake here. First, it opens up like this. Now it opens up like this. And I'm sorry, guys, that's not how doors work. It is a cartoon, but that's not how doors work. Here's another mistake, though. Stay tuned. This one is just as bad.
SpongeBob.
Good morning, Squidward.
Alright, so take a look at this shot of Conch Street. As you can see, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward's house all have these pathways, okay? They all look different, but they have a path getting to their house. Well, when Squidward hears SpongeBob's alarm clock go off in this episode, the ladder's pathway is missing. It's just gone. Poof, where is it? What's funny is it does appear in the episode, but during this one shot, the animators, I guess they just didn't want to draw it. They were feeling kind of lazy because it's not there. That's not it though. Believe it or not, this episode actually has 3 mistakes. Here's the third one.
You did overlook one teensy little detail, however.
What's that, Squidward?
It's Sunday!
It's very easy to miss, but pay attention as before Squidward yells, "It's Sunday," SpongeBob's pupils become uncolored for a split second. They just have no color, and they're not supposed to look like that, dude. I mean, seriously, what a mistake. How does this even happen? And there's more. Let's move over to our next episode. Yeah, your boy Cartoon Corey is addicted to season 3 because I have yet another season 3 episode. I'm talking about Midlife Crustacean. Here's some clips from this episode because it's really funny.
Show up at my house at 8 o'clock.
I just want to warn you, Mr. Krabs, we're always fashionably late.
8:01 p.m.
Now, we might have covered this mistake in the past. I don't think we have, so I'm gonna make it quick, but during the panty raid scene, take a look at Mrs. Krabs' house.
For some credit, old man. We're panty professionals.
Good night, Mr. Krabs.
Good night, SpongeBob.
Eugene, lights out.
As you can see, it's blue. It's a beautiful home. Like, it's a very beautiful home, but it doesn't stay blue, as at the end of the episode when we see SpongeBob talking to a grounded Mr. Krabs, now it's pink. It just changes colors. I highly doubt anybody painted the house in between these scenes, so this was a bad mistake, and let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
Do you mind?
Don't worry, Squidward. We're boating buddies now.
Let's kick things off with a fairly good episode from SpongeBob Season 6. I'm talking about boating buddies. Here's the first mistake. Roll the footage.
There is no we. Understand?
Quiet in the front, please.
Oh, I understand. I understand perfectly.
This first mistake is funny, as you can tell that the animators didn't think that we'd notice, but nah, Cartoon Corey has the eyes of a hawk. As during this classroom scene, when Mrs. Puff says, "Quiet in the front, please," take a look at SpongeBob's side belt through his desk, as his belt is missing. His pants are just brown. There should be his belt right there, but you can tell that because he was in the chair, the animators just were kind of lazy and didn't draw it, which I get, but hey, it's still a mistake. He should have his belt on, and let's keep it moving. Here's an even crazier mistake, guys. Roll the footage.
And that you didn't need me.
No, I didn't. I never said that.
I don't need your help, and I don't need you.
Jerk.
So as you can see, in this scene where Squidward is talking to SpongeBob about him needing his help, Incidental 7 over here is pink. Alright, she's pink. Remember this, you can see her right here. However, in the very next shot, she just changes colors. First she was pink, but now she's purple. Hey, she looks good purple, but she's supposed to be pink, and I don't think people can just change the color of their skin in the middle of a cartoon episode, so this was another mistake here. I don't know what happened, but yeah, she's not supposed to be purple, she's supposed to be pink. Believe it or not though, that's not it for this episode. 3 mistakes in 1 episode, damn. Here's the third one.
Squidward, you can have the $5 back. Mr. Krabs says
I don't care what Mr. Krabs says. I just want...
It happens back at the beginning of the episode, but when Squidward says, "I don't care what Mr. Krabs says," SpongeBob leans backwards slightly, and if you look closely, his black belt, which is, supposed to be black, turns white. It's not supposed to look like that. I mean, it looks cool, but it's not supposed to look like that. 3 mistakes in 1 episode, sheesh. And that's not it, guys. Let's head over to another episode with even more mistakes. Stay tuned, you will not believe what's coming up.
Oh my gosh! Jeffrey, jellyfish! Oh, wait, Jeffrey! I have to touch you!
Hey!
Here's a really quick mistake from SpongeBob Season 2. The episode is I'm Your Biggest Fanatic. I love this episode. Here's the mistake. Roll the footage.
Am I in the jelly spotters now? No. Now? No. Now? No. Now?
This one is very easy to miss, but after Kevin's crown is stung by a jellyfish, if you look at one of his anchovy followers' eyes, yeah, one of the eyes disappears when the jellyfish swims by. It's just missing and it looks really bad. So yeah, but let's keep it moving, guys. Let's keep the video going. Stay tuned for some spicy mistakes. Okay, so hold up, guys. Do not click off of the video yet. I know we primarily talk about SpongeBob, but Nickelodeon also has this other awesome show called The Loud House, which is full of mistakes. Now, the episode in question is called Don't You Forget About Me, and for context, guys, listen closely, as the mistake has to do with these two characters right here, Lenny and Lily. All right, you can see images of them right here. Pay close attention to these two characters during these clips so you can catch the mistake. Roll the footage.
And tease.
Oh. So funny. This day hasn't gone at all like I thought it would.
Were you guys able to catch it? Well, I did, and it's pretty bad, as when Lenny stops pushing Lily's pram, her head is disconnected from her body for 2 frames. What? That is a bad mistake, dude. Like, the head is just disconnected from the body. How does that even happen? That is just really bad animation. And guys, here's another mistake from this episode. This time though, pay close attention again to the character Lenny, as the mistake has to do with him. Watch him closely. Roll the footage.
Do you know where Coach Nibbles is?
Niblick? He just went to his office to make a phone call. He said it was urgent.
This one's very similar to the last one, as when Lori and Lenny run up to a student and ask where the coach is, Lenny's left hand is disconnected for an entire frame. His left hand is just not attached, and yeah, those are 2 really bad mistakes. Now we're gonna get back to SpongeBob, guys, but leave a comment down below letting me know other cartoons you want me to cover on the channel, Easter eggs or mistakes from other cartoons. But anyways, let's get back to SpongeBob.
Whoa, that's too hot!
Next up, we have a very rough episode. It's The Incredible Shrinking Sponge, which, you know, the plot of the episode is cool. SpongeBob is shrunken down and like has to do a bunch of stuff, but the episode itself is pretty weak. It does, of course, have some mistakes, and the one mistake we're gonna be covering is actually pretty whack. Let's see if you guys can spot it. Here's a hint. It has to do with the galley grub menu. All right, roll the footage. Alright, so let's go back to Season 1 for a second and take a look at the galley grub menu, more specifically how Patty in Krabby Patty is spelt. It's always spelt as P-A-T-T-Y, but one common mistake that's happened in a few episodes throughout SpongeBob's entire runtime, like the history of the show, is that sometimes Patty in Krabby Patty will be misspelt on the menu, and in this episode, The Incredible Shrinking Sponge, this happens right here. Look, Patty is weirdly spelt as P-A-T-T-I-E, which, yeah, is a massive mistake. Like, that's not how it's spelt at all. Okay, that one was kinda weak. It's still a mistake, so let's head over to another episode that actually has a good mistake in it. This one's really gonna shock you guys.
I'm gonna need to see some proof of pet.
Of course!
That's a rock.
Next up, we have another Season 14 episode. The episode is Pet the Rock, and this is also a pretty good episode from Season 14. With Patrick over here, our favorite starfish, getting himself a new pet rock, which is pretty cool. Also, didn't this happen before? I swear back in the Season 2 or 3 episode where they race their snails, it's like the Great Snail Race, that Patrick has a pet rock, so kind of a reference here. But we're not here for references, we're here for mistakes.
I know what I do!
I will admit I'm kind of nitpicking when it comes to this one, but this picture right here shows Patrick and his family from the Patrick Star Show, but it's actually missing a ton of details. Let's start with Bunny over here, all right? Because the picture of the family from Pet the Rock is missing the patterns normally seen on Bunny's clothing. The same thing with Patrick. I'm doing a side-by-side of each character, and Patrick, it's the same thing. The patterns are missing, but also Grandpat over here is missing one of his teeth. So yeah, a bit of a messy scene, but not that big of a deal. deal. I'm kind of nitpicking. It's meant to be like a zoomed out shot of the picture, so I'm definitely over analyzing it. So let's move on to another episode with some actual crazy mistakes.
Classy new boat.
Hello, SpongeBob.
SpongeBob! You're not driving! I know, isn't it great?
Keeping on the topic of modern SpongeBob, the HD era of SpongeBob, our next episode is Drive Happy. And this one's an interesting one. It's all about SpongeBob being able to drive, but not because he got his license finally, but because he operates this self-driving car. Definitely give the episode a watch when you get a chance, but first, let's watch these mistakes. Let's expose them. Here's the first one.
All right, Coop, come on in.
So I want you to take a look at some of these shots of SpongeBob's house. And what we'll notice is that SpongeBob has a garage in the back of his house, all right? We've seen it in many episodes before. Here are some examples. But remember this, because it seems that the writer of this episode and the animators forgot about it. That or they've just never watched old school SpongeBob before. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Nickelodeon. Because at one point, SpongeBob saws a hole at the front of his house so that his car, Coop, the self-driving car, can enter and seek shelter. But this is a problem because SpongeBob literally already has a garage, so like why would he do this? Like I said, the writer of this episode needs to go back and watch old school SpongeBob because they do not know what they're talking about at all. And here's one more mistake from this episode.
Oh, that was the best day of non-driving ever.
Now this one could be a case of cartoon logic, but it's still like kind of a weird choice to be honest with you because it does highlight what could be a mistake. As you guys seen in the clips that we just played, when SpongeBob's house eventually gets this driveway right here, look, Squidward's house is missing when it should be right here. Like based on the angle of this shot, we should be able to see his house, but I guess the animators were feeling a little lazy and just didn't draw it. Again, this one's kind of cartoon logic, but it's still technically a mistake. Like his house should be right there. Like look at this shot of Conch Street right here. That's where his house is right there. So it should be right here in this shot. But anyways, I'm rambling. Let's just keep the spiciness going and head over to another episode with more mistakes. Tons of mistakes coming up. So I imagine some of you guys have pets, and here's a funny question for you guys. What if one day your pet could just start talking? Like your dog could just start talking to you. Or your cat. I'm kind of more of a dog guy, but your cat could be talking to you too. Well, this is exactly what happens in Chatterbox Gary. With Gary over here becoming quite the chatterbox. Now, of course, we're gonna get right into the mistakes is what you guys are here for, but here's some hilarious clips from this episode of Gary talking, like some of the funny stuff he says, and then we're gonna get right into the mistakes.
Hello there, Papa Bob.
How do I look in these pants?
They really bring out the sharp corners of your buttocks. Greetings and salutations, grouchy man.
Yeah, I need to get one of these things right here for my dog, because Gary is cracking me up in this episode. Like, we need a whole spin-off series that's just based on Gary. But anyways, on to the mistakes. Here's the first one. Try to comment it before I reveal the mistake. I want to see if you guys can catch it before I tell you. All right, roll the footage.
Stupid rake!
So as you guys just saw in the clips we just played, Squidward climbs up into SpongeBob's house. And when this happens, we can see that there's this rake right here, all right, by SpongeBob's house. This rake's right here. Remember it. As eventually, when Squidward climbs down from SpongeBob's house, the rake has just magically disappeared. And considering the context of this, like, episode and this scene, while Squidward was sneaking up there, SpongeBob did not come out and put the rake away. The animators drew the rake at first and forgot to draw it the second time, which isn't a big deal because this is a kid's cartoon, so yeah, but still, it's a mistake. Like, get wrecked, Nickelodeon. It's a mistake. And here's another one.
In order to achieve complete brainfulness, one must clear one's mind of all distractions.
Early on in the episode, we get these scenes where Squidward is meditating, all right? And now normally, if we look at Squidward in any other episode, just a random PNG of him, he always has these wrinkles on his forehead. Even back in his first appearance of SpongeBob, he's had the wrinkles. They will disappear when he makes very specific facial expressions, but even that is rare. They very rarely disappear. And when they do, it's usually a mistake. Now, if you guys look while Squidward's meditating, look, his wrinkles on his head head are gone. But there could be a reasoning for this. Now, I think it's a mistake, but it could be due to the fact that he's meditating. So he's relaxed, he's calm from meditating, which could result in like the forehead wrinkles maybe going away. I don't know. I definitely think it was a mistake though. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Ever notice how big squirrels' teeth are? I mean, hey, you could land a plane on those things.
Nice. Squirrel jokes. I love this episode. I felt bad for Sandy in it because, you know, they're kind of mean to her, but overall, really, really, really good episode. And of course, it has a mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it without my help. All right, guys, before I reveal and explain the mistake, try and comment it to see if you guys spot it first. But all right, roll the footage.
Squirrel! I know, let's try and communicate with it.
Okay, so context. This character right here is Incidental 38B, and you'll notice that their lips are purple, all right? Their lips are always purple too. In any other episode, look at some of these shots, their lips are purple, remember? Well, in the scene you guys just saw, where Sandy's in the grocery store and these three fish just start roasting her, like they start going in on our girl. If we watch Incidental 38B closely, their lips actually flicker orange for about a frame, and then they go back to purple, but for that one frame, look at this, like what? My theory is if you look, this fish over here is orange and has orangish lips, so maybe they got confused and mixed it up. It's only for a frame, but it's still a mistake. And here's another one that you do not want to miss from Squirrel Jokes. Roll the footage.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I want to give a special thanks to my friend Sandy.
So this right here is my boy Incidental 11, and you'll notice that he has this fin right here, all right? I want you to remember how this fin looks. We even see him in this episode earlier on, and his fin looks the same, right? Well, during the scene you guys saw where the spotlight's put on Sandy after SpongeBob starts roasting her more, look, part of Incidental 11's fin is just missing. It looks incredibly awkward, especially when there are shots with their full fin intact. So weird mistake here. It's not very noticeable unless you're looking for it, but I mean, come on, that is a mistake. And here's another one.
Crabs? Oh, brother, they're so cheap, they can't even pay attention.
It's true! I am cheap!
Forward, and I feel bad for Mr. Krabs over here, but when SpongeBob talks about Krabs in his stand-up, Mr. Krabs over here is missing his legs. I can understand how this happened, kind of, but also, like, considering the angle, they're kind of silly for this one. It's so blatant. Like, I remember catching this as a kid. So, yeah, no legs on Mr. Krabs. Hey, it happens sometimes. Let's head over to another episode, guys, and stay tuned, because the mistakes are gonna get worse as we go. Like, it is going to be crazy by the ending of the video. All right, let's head over to the next episode.
Wow, Squidward, you flipped him over. That takes an awful amount of skill.
Season 4 Skill Crane is an interesting episode. The plot, I mean, is very interesting. The idea of them getting a skill crane in the Krusty Krab. Now I want to play one of these. These games are fun. I'll win all of you guys like a SpongeBob plushie, all right? Before that though, let's expose the mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one.
You know this guy?
Yeah, that's Squidward. He's got the magic touch.
Yeah, so this one really cracked me up. I never noticed this as a kid, but now that I've seen it, I cannot unsee it when watching this episode. So this construction worker right here, the short king right here, all right, pay attention to his pants. At first, he's wearing these like grayish, bluish pants right here, as you can see, all right? Remember these? They're kind of fresh. I need a pair. Then the scene changes, but when we go back to it and we see the same short king over here, look, his pants are now like a beige color. I'm doing a side-by-side and they like completely changed his pants. I don't even know how something like this happened. Maybe his pants were originally going to be beige. I don't know. Maybe it's a layering issue because if you look, they're standing on sand, which is a similar color. I don't know, but this is definitely a mistake. And here's another one from Skill Crane.
Need some change? There you are.
Hey, thanks.
No, Mr. Squidward. Thank you.
This one is very easy to miss. So in the footage you guys just saw, when Mr. Krabs is thanking Squidward after giving him change, it happens right before the coins start rolling, but the leftmost end of Mr. Krabs' belt turns gray for a frame. Obviously it's supposed to be black, as we've seen in every other appearance of Mr. Krabs, even in this episode. But for a moment, it is gray for a single frame, and that, my friends, is totally a mistake. Don't worry though, guys, we've got more. We're gonna head over to another episode, and you guys are gonna really like this one because it's from an iconic episode that I love. All right, let's do it. Let's head over to our next episode.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
I told you guys, this episode is iconic, the secret box. This episode is all about Patrick having like this box, and he won't show SpongeBob what's inside of his box, and this drives SpongeBob crazy. You know what really drives me crazy though? The mistake in this episode. Roll the footage, please.
This very box is the most secret-y secret. Not even Squidward's house.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this PNG of SpongeBob right here, and we'll all notice that he has freckles on his face. He has 3 freckles on each cheek. This is a major part of our boy's design. But there's a massive animation glitch in this episode, as before Patrick mentions Squidward's house, look at SpongeBob's cheek as he has double the amount of freckles. Like, it looks really weird. There's like 6 of them. This has never happened before and has never happened since this episode, so totally a mistake here. Like, look at how weird that looks. Anyways, let's go to the next episode.
I like it here. It's roomy. And best of all, we have this cave all to ourselves.
Up next, we have To Save a Squirrel, and this is actually a pretty good episode. I like this one. SpongeBob and Patrick go off to find Sandy, and the mistakes in this episode are very interesting, especially this first one. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Carrots! You're making soup out of me!
It was not! It was supposed to be stew!
Did you guys catch it? If not, I do not blame you, because this one is going to need some explaining. There is some explaining to do here for sure. It has to do with this puddle right here, as it seems that Patrick goes under the puddle when he's running, during his running animation. And I don't mean like he steps in the puddle like he's stepping in water. I mean like the art for the puddle is literally overlapping his leg, like it's on top of his leg, as you can see here. This is 100% a layering issue, where you can see that the puddle's layer should be under Patrick's layer, I guess his body layer, but they messed up and swapped them, which is why this puddle is like on top of Patrick. So weird, man. It's so weird. Not as weird as this next one though, from To Save a Squirrel. Roll the footage. It has to do with one of SpongeBob's pores.
Owned our tent and lost all our water. Patrick, we are gonna need to use our razor-sharp quick wits if we're gonna make it out of here alive.
Gotcha.
Did you guys catch it? This one's actually fairly easy to catch if you pause at the right frame, which is what we just did for you guys, but I got you, don't worry, I'm gonna explain it. When SpongeBob says, Patrick, we are going to need to use our razor-sharp quick wits if we're going to make it out of here alive, one of his holes just becomes transparent for a split second, like you can see right through it and see the sky behind it, which is not supposed to happen. SpongeBob's pores are never just entirely see-through, they're just holes into his body. So being able to see the sky through our yellow spongy boy over here is 100% a mistake, and a fairly bad one actually. But all right, let's keep it moving, guys. Let's head over to another episode.
From now on, the Krusty Krab is open 24 hours a day.
Now we never have to stop working.
Back to the classics. Next up, we've got Graveyard Shift, and this one's a cool one where Squidward and SpongeBob are forced to work like overnight, and they get terrified when this new kid is coming to apply. They think he's the hash-slinging slasher, but he's actually just this cute kid right here. All right, enough spoilers. Here's the first mistake.
The hash-slinging slasher! Get away, SpongeBob! No matter what I've said, I've always sort of...
So let's take a look at SpongeBob's design, all right? We're looking at this PNG of our favorite yellow spongy boy right here, and you'll notice he has this red line right here under his mouth. It's always been there ever since season 1, and it never really disappears. It's supposed to represent like the under part of his jaw, I think, or the bottom part of his mouth. But anyways, in Graveyard Shift, when Squidward and SpongeBob are shaking under the misconception that the hash-slinging slasher is approaching, that red line under SpongeBob's mouth actually flickers between normal and invisible. I'm playing it in slow motion right here. I zoomed in and I sharpened the footage, and yeah, you can see it kind of just goes back and forth between the two, which is very awkward and weird.
I would like a hey-ya! Oh, what? I said one Krusty combo. Did you speak karate?
We're heading over to season 7 for this next one, and this episode is not liked by the SpongeBob community very much. It's Karate Star. I personally don't think that the episode is that bad, but a lot of fans just do not like this one, mainly due to the plot, but surprise, surprise, the episode itself also has a bunch of mistakes. Here's the first one, and try to guess what the mistake is before I reveal it. Try to comment what the mistake is before I actually say what it is. I know you guys can do it. Anyways, roll that footage.
Hey, look, it's Patrick!
Hiya, SpongeBob!
What are you doing in there? They are nipped!
So So this one's weird, alright? Let's take a look at the Krusty Krab from the outside, and you'll notice that the Krusty Krab doors have these yellow handles on them, alright? It's been there ever since the first ever episode, and it's just how the doors look, man, alright? It's how they look. But in the clips you guys just saw, when Patrick chops through the Krusty Krab doors with his karate, or his karate, those yellow handles do not appear on the floor, when they really should. Like, this mistake is a bit of a nitpick on my end, and I can understand why the animators were a little too lazy to put the handles in this shot, but it's still technically a mistake. Here's mistake number 2, though.
Also, lipids and cream.
We're all out. In fact, we're out of everything.
Alright, mistake number 3. So as you guys saw in the clips, Patrick over here orders a delicious ice cream, alright? I could go for some ice cream right now. Comment down below, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Mine is cookie dough. But anyways, when Patrick orders his large ice cream, the amount of scoops on his ice cream inconsistently change in between shots. For example, when he first gets it, it looks like this, and there's this many scoops. But when the shot changes, look, so do the scoops of ice cream. It even happens again in this shot, where the scoops of ice cream have changed again. Super inconsistent. Not a huge deal, but this one is most certainly a mistake, and hey, mistakes happen sometimes. It's a 2D animated show, but I caught ya. And let's catch more heading over to another episode. And guys, stay tuned because the mistakes are only gonna get crazier as we go. I'm saving the craziest mistakes for the end.
I hired him to stand out there and hold that sign.
Oh, he is good.
Can you direct me to the Krusty Krab, please?
You know, we cover a ton of mistakes on this channel, and there are some mistakes that just actually crack me up, and this is one of them. It's from the episode No Hat for Pat, which is kind of an underrated episode, just saying, with Patrick becoming an attraction at the Krusty Krab because he constantly falls and hurts himself. I actually feel kind of bad for Patrick in this episode, but anyways, here's the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
I'll show you, SpongeBob. I'll get a job. And a hat!
Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward, but the Krusty Krab sign, alright? Normally it looks like this, and as you can see, it says the Krusty Krab. Of course, it's the Krusty Krab sign after all. But in this one shot from No Hat for Pat, look, the sign is misspelled, with the U in Krusty being replaced with a Y. But yeah, that's not how the sign is supposed to look. As a matter of fact, here's a side-by-side of how the sign looks in other episodes, and yeah, you guys can really see the mistake now. So weird, but not as weird as this next episode's set of mistakes. Let's keep it rolling, gang. Next up, we've got Squid Noir, and this episode's really cool. I actually think it's a very underrated episode. Now, we're gonna get into the mistake, but a big part of this episode is that Squidward becomes a detective, and when this happens, the whole art style changes. Everything becomes all black and white, and it starts to feel like a noir film. So, we're gonna get into the mistakes, but here are some clips showing you guys this, because it's a really cool episode. And then we'll expose the mistakes and take a poop on the episode.
When it came to paying the stupid bill, SpongeBob always tipped 20%.
All right, I'll partner up with you this time.
See, really cool stuff. Now we can just, you know, like I said, we can take a poop on the episode and bring up the mistake, roll the footage.
Billy, don't make me turn this boat around.
So sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
This one's actually pretty easy to miss, especially because the scene's in black and white. But when one of Bubble Bass's friends try to comfort him after his suburban dad action figure breaks, the veil that one of the friends wears disappears for like a split second. It happens really fast. It then pops right back on, but look, for this one frame, it's gone. I'm actually gonna play the clip in slow motion again. Like, look at this, I'm playing it, and like, yeah, like it just disappears randomly. At least he gets it back though, so yeah.
Okay.
Squidward, have you ever seen more lovely French tips?
French tips, huh? All right, pal.
Listen, so when you get old, like your big brother Corey over here, all right, your big brother cartoon Corey, I'm turning old, I'm getting old. Sundays become like a very important day. It's like your day off because you're working all the time. So I'm not surprised that Squidward gets so annoyed at SpongeBob and Patrick for ruining his Sunday off in the episode Good Neighbors.
It's Sunday! Our good neighbor doesn't bother me on Sunday.
Sunday?
This is another one that just makes you laugh, like, a lot, as when Squidward angrily throws SpongeBob out, he's seen wearing his regular clothes. You can see it right here, his regular OG fit. But in the very next shot, dude is now wearing his pajamas, and this happens in a matter of seconds. Like, literally, he's seen in his regular clothes, and then the scene changes, and now he's in his pajamas. Weird continuity error, but let's keep it moving, guys. Let's talk about Season 7 for a second, more specifically the episode The Play's the Thing, an episode all about Squidward putting on a play at the Krusty Krab. Now, of course, there's loads of mistakes we're going to be covering in this episode, and you don't want to miss them, but here are some clips from Squidward's play, as it's actually, like, really funny, and then we'll get right to the mistake.
Promise and potential.
I'd like a double Krabby meal.
Hero!
Hey, my Krabby Patty doesn't have ketchup.
Okay, it's mistake time. That's what you guys are actually here for. We're gonna cover 2. Here's the first one, and try to comment it without me revealing it yet. Let's see if you guys can spot it without me showing you it right away, all right? Roll the footage.
Delivery for Mr. Squidward Tentacles. Hello?
You guys may have caught it, alright? But in the close-up shot of the mailman's letter, the mailman's sleeve is missing, despite the fact that when we see, like, the full shot of him, he has the sleeve. So in the close-up of the letter, he should also have his sleeve. That's a continuity error. And here's another one from this episode. Here's a hint, it has to do with SpongeBob's teeth. Roll the footage.
Oh, the trash is full. I had better call the garbage truck.
This is a very, very, very common mistake throughout SpongeBob, and I try to avoid it because I feel like it's kinda lame, but in this case, it's actually pretty bad. So, while SpongeBob faces towards the camera and begins acting like a garbage truck, look, for about a split second, his teeth turned yellow. You guys already know what I'm gonna say, but SpongeBob, go brush those teeth, boy.
I'm crossing over to the dark side.
Why should I waste money lighting the whole store?
Let's kick things off with a banger. How about one of the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes? We'll do Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 5. Just saying rest in peace to the voice actors because they're legendary. I do feel bad because we're gonna expose some mistakes. Here's the first one, and let's see if you guys can catch it without my help. I'm gonna reveal and explain the mistake, but before I reveal it, try to comment it if you guys catch it, all right? Roll the footage.
Name their new alliance. Every villain is Lemons, otherwise known as evil.
Come on, I know you guys caught this one because this one is blatant. I don't know how Nickelodeon staff or Rough Draft Korea, the people who animate SpongeBob, did not catch this one. But to be fair, the episode's like over 20 years old, so. But anyways, in the Every Villain is Lemons TV sequence, look, the word villain is incorrectly spelt. Villain is supposed to be spelt as V-I-L-L-A-I-N, but they got it a little mixed up in this shot right here. I wonder how many kids went on to think that this is how you spell villain. It's a funny mistake, but here's one that's a lot more spicy from the same episode. Roll the footage.
I don't. Oh, yes, you do. No world means no money. Now, go save the world, or you're fired.
You guys are legends if you caught this, but when Mr. Krabs is talking to Squidward in the clips you guys just saw and says, no world means no money, look, his right arm is missing. It's kind of an awkward shot, which justifies it a little bit, but they still should have drawn dude's arm, especially if Mr. Krabs wants to be counting all that money, money, money. He needs those arms, so yeah. Here's another mistake from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 5, and this one's a lot worse.
Need a hand? Super pal.
This one's closer to the ending of the episode. It's actually in the very final scene when Barnacle Boy says need a hand super pal and reunites with his best bud Mermaid Man. So nice. If you look closely, his mask, the side parts of his mask turn to the same color as his skin for this one frame, which is majorly incorrect. That's not supposed to be the same color as his skin. To be fair, it's only for one frame, but I mean, come on, man, it's still a mistake. And believe it or not, I've got one more from this episode.
Nothing will stop me from defeating the evil! Nothing!
Did you guys catch that one? If not, don't worry, Cartoon Corey's got you covered. So, when Mermaid Man says that he will fight the evil after the news report plays, it seems that one of his suspenders cuts off before reaching his shoulder, as you can see right here. Maybe Mermaid Man needs to lay off the Krabby Patties. He might be getting too big for that seashell bra he's wearing. Anyways, though, let's head over to another episode, guys, with more mistakes, and trust me, you do not want to miss these ones. This episode almost got canceled because of the mistakes.
Oh no.
know your bathroom is a disaster. Get it cleaned up fast with the new sponge.
Next up, we have the Season 7 episode Model Sponge, which I actually personally like. SpongeBob starts to think he's like a famous actor in the episode. Well, actually, SpongeBob thinks that he's gonna become a famous actor. It doesn't actually go that way. He actually gets used to clean the sink. Anyways, though, we're here for mistakes. Here's the first one, and it is weird. Be prepared.
I am a fry cook. That's what I am, and that's what I've always been. I'm sorry to waste your time, mister.
It happens really, really fast, so I cannot blame you guys if you didn't catch it, but when SpongeBob says in the clips you guys just saw, "I'm sorry to waste your time, mister," his normally gray spatula that's literally always gray in every other episode randomly turns yellow for a split second. Like, what? For this one, it's just confusing. I don't know if it's a layering issue. I don't really know what happened here. Maybe they originally drew it yellow and then realized it was supposed to be gray and fixed it in post. But for one frame they slipped up. I don't know. But stay tuned because the next mistake we're going to be covering from this next episode is going to blow your brain. Let's do it.
SpongeBob.
Okay, I'll tell ya.
Your order, ma'am.
I'm not using my hands because today is Work Without Your Hands Day.
Some of my favorite SpongeBob episodes are the ones that have to do with King Neptune. He's a cool character and he always has something interesting to say. His son though, Triton, now that's a whole different story. Next up we've got the Clash of Triton, which is all about King Neptune's son, who's like a spoiled brat actually. Enough about all that though. We're here for mistakes. It's what you guys clicked on this video for, so here's the first one.
Oh, let's go home, son.
Okay, so this right here is Queen Amphitrite. I might have said it incorrectly, but she does come from Greek mythology, just saying. But yeah, this is her design from SpongeBob. I'm showing a PNG here, and as you can see on her belt right here, she has a seahorse on it right here. Remember this as it's very important, as if we watch closely in the clips I just showed you guys, when she's about to close this door of the carriage after Neptune and Triton return, look, the seahorse I just mentioned has vanished from her belt. Now, it's most likely due to this scene and how it's animated, but it should still be there despite this. Like, it's like the animators were just too lazy to draw it in this one shot, which can be excused, but this next error, not so much.
What is going on in here?
This one was actually very hard to find, but in the scene you guys just saw where Neptune opens the door to Triton's room, if we watch very closely, Triton's skin, specifically between his vest and his belt, turns red. Here's another shot of him from the same episode where that part is not red. So in this scene when the door's open for Triton's room and that part of his skin is red, it is totally a mistake, guys, and a rough one. And here's another one from this episode. I'd say it's even worse, to be honest. Roll the footage.
Party decorations for what? So it's my old man's birthday. I am. Fingernails, man!
You're right.
So it takes place in the scenes where SpongeBob first meets Triton when he's in the cage. And if we look at this lock right here, it actually changes multiple times. This is how it looks at first. Then it changes to this. There are these shots where it has like no art on it. And there's even one shot where it's solved before it's actually supposed to be solved. So very messy scene right here. This lock changes multiple times and that is a mistake. And guys, if you thought these were bad, you will not believe the ones coming up in our next episode. Let's keep it moving.
Hold on! Did you hear that? It sounds like despair.
Let's expose some more mistakes in the episode Single Cell Anniversary from season 6. It isn't necessarily the best episode, but it's one of the few episodes to actually focus on the marriage of Plankton and Karen, which is cool. I like when we get more episodes that build the world of SpongeBob and Bikini Bottom, but I'm being a nerd and we're here for mistakes. So here's the first one, and let's see if you guys can spot it before I reveal it. Try to comment the mistake before I actually tell you. All right, got it? Roll the footage.
Percent loaded.
How do you turn this thing off?
Did you guys catch it? Well, don't worry, Cartoon Corey's going to explain. So, when SpongeBob attempts to Control-Alt-Delete Karen, he literally tries to kill Karen and delete her, we can see that the keyboard keys that he uses are white. Alright, remember this is a white keyboard, alright? And it should stay white for this entire episode. Well, plot twist, that isn't what happens, as when Karen begins to short circuit, look, those white keys are now suddenly red, making for a wacky continuity error, like the keys of a keyboard don't randomly randomly change color, guys. The animators originally drew them as white and then forgot and drew them as red, which is a mistake. And we've got another one from this episode. Let's keep it rolling.
You done to my daughter. You made her cry. You know, she could have been with an ATM. Someone with money. But she chose you. I don't know why.
Mistake number 2 is actually pretty simple. You know this is a very common mistake in SpongeBob, but canonically speaking, the Krusty Krab and the Chum Bucket are directly across from each other. Here's one example of this, and here's another example of this. Heck, here's even a third example so you guys know I'm not capping, right? The Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket are directly across from another, and there's a path that connects them. Well, near the ending of this episode's single cell anniversary, when the camera zooms out of the Chum Bucket, look, the pathway to the Krusty Krab is missing. Hey, this is a lot better than before. There are times where like they don't even draw the Krusty Krab, but at least this time it's just the path. However, though, it is still a sneaky little mistake. I got you, Nickelodeon, I caught it. We still ain't done yet though. Let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. Things are really gonna get spicy from here.
Violin!
Now my house can withstand anything nature has to throw at us.
I guess Squidward's not part of nature.
This is another nitpick, so I'm gonna make it very quick. It's in the episode Pineapple Fever. I'm gonna roll the clip and let's see if you guys can catch it. It has to do with this book that SpongeBob's reading, all right? Roll that footage. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Congratulations, Squidward.
Did you guys catch it? This one's kind of a tricky one. All right, so this tic-tac-toe rules book that SpongeBob is reading, all right? If you look closely, the title of the book is on the right side of the book, which is incorrect. It should be on the left. This is how a normal book looks, guys. And based on how you would read a book, where you're turning each page to the left, the title of a book would be on the left side of it. SpongeBob isn't reading manga over here. My boy ain't reading the new chapter of Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, this is technically a mistake. I'm being a total nerd, but still technically a mistake. And let's head over to an episode with some good mistakes.
You have no idea what day tomorrow is, do you?
None at all.
It's my 16th birthday!
I knew that!
You know, Mr. Krabs is a very, very greedy father, all right? But at the same time, Pearl is kind of a spoiled brat at times, all right? She's very entitled, but again, to be fair, her dad does, like, suck. Like, look at this clip where Mr. Krabs tries to give Pearl ketchup and crackers and calls it pizza.
Here, would your friends like some pizza? You can have your allowance early.
Ketchup!
See, you put it on the crackers. Got a spicy pizza pie.
Yeah, this man is a cheapskate, and this is definitely the case in the episode Whale of a Birthday, where Mr. Krabs sends SpongeBob to get Pearl a present, just he doesn't want to spend a ton of money. At least he's not getting her squeaky boots this time. Now, this episode has a few mistakes. Here's the first one. Let's dive right in.
It's Billy Fishkin! Hi, Billy!
Meep. Oh, isn't he dreamy?
This first one's pretty simple, but it's still pretty bad at the same time. So when Pearl and her friends meet Billy Fishkins over here, and we get this shot while facing in front, for about one frame, her heart lipstick just disappears. It's only for a single frame, so I mean it's not that big of a deal, plus this is a 2D animated cartoon. But hey, don't shoot the messenger, I'm just reporting the mistake and this is a mistake. And here's another one from the same episode.
Sea Pony's the cutest thing ever! Do you want to come home and be my pony?
Now, this one is actually really bad, and it's also pretty weird at the same time. I have no idea how something like this happened. As you guys saw in the clips, Pearl and her friends are at the mall, and in this scene, she looks at the sea pony. Now, in the first shot, it shows the dog fish tank right next to it, all right? It's two separate, like, tanks beside each other. Remember this, I know I'm over-explaining it, but two separate tanks with animals in them beside each other, with a clear separation of the two tanks. However, though, a few seconds later, and now look, it's completely transformed, and now it's one tank, with the sea pony sharing it with the dogfish. So like I said, this one's really bad. First they drew it like this, and then forgot, because seconds later they draw it like this. Like, what? I have no clue how this happened, but what can you do, guys? Actually, what we can do is head over to another episode with more mistakes.
Hey, Squidward, we blew a fuse.
I'm gonna blow a fuse if you don't get that order up.
Next up, we have the inside job. So I'm totally nitpicking with this one, so I'm going to make it quick. And don't worry, guys, the other mistakes we're going to be covering are actually good. But in the episode The Inside Job, there's this mistake. Roll the footage.
So cheesy.
Did you guys catch it? Well, as you guys can see, Plankton's inside SpongeBob's body and we can see his heart. But it should be doing something that it isn't doing in this shot, and that's beating. A heart is constantly beating. That's how, you stay alive. So again, like I said, I'm nitpicking, but the heart not beating in this one shot is technically a mistake. You guys know Cartoon Corey loves his classic episodes. We'll be doing No Weenies Allowed. And I know if you're an old school SpongeBob fan, you know this episode. It's the one where SpongeBob becomes desperate to get into the salty spittoon after Sandy's allowed and he's not allowed. To be honest, I'd be pretty cheesed about that too. Like your girl gets in, but you can't get in. Anyways though, here's the first mistake. And let's see if you guys can catch it without my help. Try to comment the mistake before I actually reveal it. All right, roll that footage.
Sandy? Oh, what happened?
You ran inside and slipped out an ice cube.
Okay, did you guys catch it? If not, Cartoon Corey's got you covered. As you can see in these shots of Sandy right here, she is a squirrel and she has a tail. It's a big part of her design because she's a squirrel. But there are two scenes in this episode where her tail just was not drawn for some strange reason. They're both when they're in the ambulance. There's this shot right here that's more of a zoomed out shot, and as you can see, her tail is gone. This one's especially bad because of how zoomed out it is. And the second is this shot, which is a little more excusable. It's more zoomed in, and maybe because of the angle you just can't see it, but either way we should be able to see her tail in both of these shots, and this was a little goof on the animator's end. Anyways though, let's head over to another episode, and this is where things are really gonna get spicy, so stay tuned.
I went out and dug one up.
Where did you get this old thing?
She looks so peaceful.
But wasn't she wearing a hat?
We're jumping over to season 5 for this next one. The episode is Enemy-in-Law, and this episode is all about Plankton falling in love with Mr. Krabs' mom. I'd be so upset. My arch rival starts trying to rizz up my mother. That would be a scrap. But anyways, here's the first mistake.
I've reservations for 2.
Your gentleman caller.
You guys may have noticed, but when Plankton walks into the Krusty Krab with a rose for Mr. Krabs' mom, there is a burger sticker on the window right here. We're circling it, we're zooming in, remember this burger sticker right here. Now it should be here for the remainder of the episode. However, once Plankton gets inside of the restaurant, look, that sticker has just magically disappeared randomly. Weird. Here's mistake number 2.
Eugene!
All you love is thieving and conniving. Now stop trying to get the formula out of me, mother!
This one's more of a strange one, but when Mr. Krabs barges into the chum bucket in anger, some scenes show these red pipes on the wall right here. Remember them, they should be here for the entire scene. But in some shots where we see the exact same wall which should have those red pipes, they're not there. So the animators drew the red pipes at first, and then in some shots just were too lazy to draw them again. Not a huge deal, but definitely a mistake. And guys, stay tuned because these next set of mistakes we're gonna be covering are going to blow your mind.
That was close.
It sure was. I almost didn't catch this bus.
Next up, let's head over to season 12 and talk about a fairly good episode that I personally enjoyed, that being Squid on a Bus, which I mean, the title's pretty self-explanatory for this one, guys. It's about Squidward taking the bus. It's a good episode, but like most episodes of SpongeBob, it does have 3 mistakes hidden in it, and these mistakes are really, really bad, guys. Here's mistake number 1.
Where's that bus? I've been waiting for almost an hour.
So in the opening of the episode, Squidward appears to be wearing a watch on his right wrist, right? You can see it right here. I'm zooming in on it. But seconds later, when the bus door opens, Squidward's watch is just missing now. I doubt the dude took it off to go in the bus. What I think happened is in this first shot right here, the animators drew him with a watch, but then the animators forgot about the watch because in this scene, the watch is just gone. Poof, it went missing. And that's not the only thing missing in the beginning of the episode, as there's another mistake that's kind of similar to this one. Roll the footage again.
I've been waiting for almost an hour.
Almost an hour, he says.
Did ya catch it? Well, take a look at this shot of Conch Street right here. As you can see, it goes Patrick's house, Squidward's house, and then good old SpongeBob's house right here, that old-fashioned pineapple house. Now I'm hungry. But in that opening scene, where is SpongeBob's house? It should be right there. You could say that, you know, it just wasn't on the screen, but the distance between Squidward's house and SpongeBob's house is not that wide, and I'm pretty sure the animators were just feeling kind of lazy in this scene and didn't draw SpongeBob's house, which is still technically a mistake. But wait, there's more. Here's mistake number 3. Let's see if you guys can catch this one. Man, 3 mistakes in one episode is like really bad. Nickelodeon be slacking, boy. But take a look at this shot from inside the bus when the bus starts rocking. As you can see, there are passengers inside. They're chilling inside the bus. But when we get the same shot from the outside view, why is Squidward the only one on the bus? The passengers just disappeared? They're gone? Poof? Talk about a mistake, a continuity mistake, and let's keep the video moving, guys.
I'm gonna have some of your delicious peanut brittle. Where's the peanut brittle? Hey, peanut brittle! Oh, darn it!
Next up, we've got another classic banger. I'm talking about Pranks-a-Lot. I feel like this is actually an underrated older episode of SpongeBob. People don't talk about it enough. Well, I'm gonna talk about it today, but I mean, the context is kind of bad because we're gonna be exposing some mistakes. Here's the first one.
Ha! Exploding chewing gum, only $9.95.
I don't get it.
This first one is a spelling error, and it has to do with the exploding chewing gum box that this dude tries to sell to SpongeBob. Exploding chewing gum sounds insane. But anyways, it should read as exploding, so E-X-P-L-O-D-I-N-G, but instead that first O seems to be replaced with a P. It might be due to the type of writing, but I do think this was a spelling mistake. Here's mistake number 2 from this episode though.
Too late, Krabs! We've already clogged all the toilets!
Please, spirits, leave!
Now, I will admit, I'm kind of weird for even noticing this or pointing it out. It just shows that I watch way too much SpongeBob. But normally, when we see the Krusty Krab washroom, alright, the toilet is covered in a stall. Like it's in a stall. The toilet isn't just sitting in the washroom. There are stalls and the toilets are in the stalls. Well, for some reason in this episode, the toilet in the Krusty Krab restroom is just in plain sight and is not hidden by a stall, which is just very random and technically a mistake. Like there should be continuity of the washroom. Is it a big deal? No, but it's still a mistake. And here's another one from this episode. This next one isn't as bad, it's more funny, like it really cracked me up, but near the ending of the episode, when the crowd is cheering at SpongeBob and Patrick, who are naked, we can see Sandy, and if you look, she whistles, but she's wearing her helmet, so this would be impossible. You wouldn't be able to whistle through the helmet because her mouth is behind the glass of the helmet, so I don't think I need to explain this one anymore. Massive mistake. Like I said though, it's more funny than anything. This next set of mistakes though aren't so funny, they're just bad.
SquarePants and Star Babysitters at your service.
We sit on babies!
Not literally.
Yeah, not in Italy.
Let's head over to season 12. I feel like we don't talk about season 12 enough on this channel, and to be honest, the season is full of like really good episodes. Fun fact, or well, I guess sad fact, it's actually the last season that Steven Hillenburg, the creator, worked on, but anyways, let's get into the mistakes, baby. Here's the first one. I said here's the first one, but there's only one mistake in this episode. So, as you guys seen, SpongeBob and Patrick were assigned to babysit. We can see it in this shot. There's 8 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I guess the animators forgot about there being 8 of them, as later on in the episode, during this montage of SpongeBob and Patrick babysitting, 2 babies are missing, dude. If anything, SpongeBob and Patrick should be arrested. There was 8, as you can see here, and now there's only 6, so where are the other 2? SpongeBob and Patrick need to be keeping a better eye on the babies, dude. Like that's kind of scary. I hope they're okay. Maybe it was just a mistake though, guys. Maybe they just forgot to draw the other 2 babies. So yeah, let's keep it moving to another episode. Lots of crazy mistakes coming up, so stay tuned.
Today you do the opposite.
Let me try.
Patrick, breathe!
Next up, we have a personal favorite of mine, and that's Opposite Day. This episode rocks, dude. Here's the first mistake.
He does the opposite. Opposite.
So first things first, take a look at this. This is Squidward's iconic house, all right? We've seen it thousands of times before, even back in season 1. Now, more importantly, I want you guys to focus on the ear of his house. I know that sounds kind of weird, as it looks like this, all right? And as you can see, there is no window on this ear. Well, in Opposite Day, during this one scene right here, take a look at this. As for one scene, there's randomly this like magical, random, mysterious window on Squidward's house that just doesn't really exist in any other episode. It's kind of funny, like this is how Squidward's house normally looks, and then this is how it looks in this scene, and just, yeah, that window doesn't exist.